action. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, my goodness. And it is over.
And welcome back to another exciting edition of Gladiators of the Cage. We are at the Syria Mosque Pavilion in Cheswick, Pennsylvania for Gladiators of the Cage MMA 16. I'm going to send it over to our ring announcer, Dan Bogan, for the official introductions of the evening.
Ladies and gentlemen, just as in ancient Rome when the gladiators gathered at the Colosseum, tonight they're gathering right here in Cheswick, Pennsylvania, as Epic Leap Entertainment proudly presents Gladiators of the Cage 16. Now, about a year and a half ago, we purchased our own cage rather than renting one. Our very first event in this cage was in the ladies division. The first fight featured Courtney Standalone Kearns. And when they say they left it in the ring or the cage, this woman literally did. She fought her heart out and left a lot of blood. It was the best fight you could ever ask for an opening contest in your own private owned cage. Courtney's brother passed away this week. Unexpectedly, tragically, and suddenly, in her arms, in her kitchen. It's a military family. I would like to invite Colleen Martinberg into the cage. She is the owner of Evolution Fight Club in Butler, Pennsylvania. Anything you can do to help. They're doing a military commemorative throw, and anything left over from that is going toward the burial. Again, it's a military family, and it's part of the MMA community. Where are you sitting at, Colleen? Section B right there. Anything you could spare, pocket change, $1, anything you could give would be very much appreciated by Gladiators of the Cage and the MMA community. Courtney Standalone Kearns will be in our cage again soon. And we wish her the best, and she has our sincere condolences and sympathies. Thank you, Colleen. She'll be over there. Please donate if you can. Also, if you come in through the front door, there are some buckets there and some gentlemen that are representing the Pennsylvania Hero Walk. These represent veterans that have been injured, that are from Pennsylvania, of all things, and that's especially important to us. And as is becoming our tradition, we want to welcome one of those Pennsylvania veterans into our cage as our guest. It's our honor and privilege to have him in this evening. We want to welcome Nick Helfrich. He suffered an improvised explosive device injury on March 7th, 2006 in Mosul, Iraq. This is our guest this evening. If you can give anything to the Pennsylvania Heroes Walk, we would ask you to do so. Thank you, sir, for your sacrifice and your privilege. Thank you very much. Now, if you would all please rise and remove your hats for the playing of our national anthem. The flag is this way. One more time, let's give it up to our PA Hero Walk veteran, Nick Helfrich. Thank Thank you for your service and sacrifice, sir. Welcome to the Gladiators of the Cage 16. We are at the Sirius Shriner Mosque in Cheswick, Pennsylvania. Epic League Entertainment is proud to have you with us, and everyone watching on GOTCMMA.com, high-def streaming live, welcome to you as well, and welcome to everyone in attendance this evening. Thanks for coming out. This evening's bouts are sponsored and approved and sanctioned by the Pennsylvania State Athletic Commission. Your executive director is the Honorable Greg Serb. The birthday boy, Ron Rossitano, is in attendance this evening. Our judges, Todd Krushka, Andy Atkins, and Kevin Armstrong. Your referee this evening for every event, we know him as the best, Mr. Chip Snyder. Your timekeeper at the bell, Stephen the Hammer Cruz. And our physician at ringside this evening, Dr. Lawrence Biskin. I'm your ring announcer, Dan Bogan. Good evening. Now it's time to bring in the lovely ring girls, our ring card girls, the Gladiator girls. Let's welcome Alicia, Brittany, Emma, and Chelsea. Cheswick, we've got 18 people back there that have trained very, very hard this evening. They've bled, they sweated, and I'm sure they may have even cried a little bit. Are you ready to get this party started? It's fight time! Let's bring out for our opening contest, fighting out of the blue corner, John Jaquay. John Jaquay first, cage side.
All right, waiting for John Jaquay to make his way to the cage for our first bout of the evening out of the blue corner. What do we know about John Jaquay, Mike? Well, he's a 1-0-0 fighter, actually, as an amateur fighter. His only fight that he's had in so far was an 11-second first-round technical knockout of Billy Sutton, which was in February of this year. So we know one thing about John Jaquay. He's on a roll. He's already fought recently. He's probably not very, doesn't have very much ring rust, still pretty fresh.
Undefeated.
Undefeated in his amateur MMA career. Here we go. Taking a little bit of time. We have to figure out the logistics of the Sirius Shriner Mosque.
Not sure which angle the fighters would be entering from here.
Exactly. A very big backstage here at a new venue for us tonight. Both fighters coming in at 170 pounds. Jaquay looks like a very large 170-pound guy, especially for an amateur fighter, which they don't normally do a lot of weight cutting.
No, because they have to make weight the day of the fight, so they don't get the luxury of 24 hours like professionals.
Absolutely. That's something we're seeing a lot more in MMA these days, though, is guys coming in and walking around closer to their weight. He doesn't look exactly like he has a lot of water sucked out of him, which could be to his advantage, not coming into the cage dehydrated tonight.
Yeah, some guys cut a ton of weight, and other guys feel more comfortable coming in at their natural body weight.
Let it be of note, tonight's first bout is going to be under the... Our first bout of the evening will be under the Tier 1 amateur Pennsylvania MMA rules, which means the fighters will be wearing shin guards and will not be permitted to do punches to the face of a grounded opponent.
That is correct.
Very, very big distinction between Pennsylvania and Ohio in their ways of doing this. Holy crap. Damon Teal's making his way out. Look at that scary mask.
It looks like some sort of variation on a Joker Batman theme, but
the Big Lots Joker. Now, I want to say, we've watched Damon Teal fight before. We were actually here for his last fight at Gladiators of the Cage, where he had a unanimous decision win versus Joel Gaines. Very talented as Damon Teal. Very impressive in his debut that we saw. Damon Teal's actually 2-0-0, another undefeated fighter. His first fight was a technical knockout win in the first round versus Cody Hermans.
I thought he was very composed and well put together for a kid his age. Very young fighter.
Absolutely. Very well-rounded. A lot of really nice kicks that we saw out of him in his last fight. A lot of good movement. Very well-rounded, I guess I could say, about his performance. Damon Till making his way into the cage. We are ready to see the first fight of the evening. Now let's go ahead and send it over to our ring announcer, Dan Bogan, for the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is our opening contest in the Gladiators of the Cage amateur welterweight division, calling for 3 2-minute rounds. First, fighting out of the blue corner, he weighed in 170 pounds. He stands 5 feet 9 inches tall, 26 years of age, a record of 1-0. He fights out of OTC. He's from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Welcome, John the Convict Jaquay! And his opponent, he's fighting out of the red corner, weighing at 171 pounds. He stands 5 feet 7 inches tall, 19 years of age, undefeated amateur record of 2-0. He fights out of Pauline Martinburg's legendary Team Evolution out of honor. He's from Butler, Pennsylvania. Welcome, David, the Freak of Nature, Teal! Your referee, Chip Snyder.
Sir, you ready? Sir, you ready? Come on, let's bang!
And round one of our first bout of the evening is underway. Chip Snyder at the helm for tonight's fights. Wow, and Jaquay is coming on hard.
Jaquay is landing a few there. You could see Teal's head whipping back, but I don't think he's hurt.
Now let's see if Teal can maintain his composure through this early
Nice kick.
onslaught.
Nice kick also.
Good movement by both fighters. A lead leg kick takes down Jaquay. Jaquay in the guard of Damon Teal right now after a bit of a tussle. Teal working an active guard on the bottom. Looks like he's trying to shift his hips out and possibly get a sweep.
Very close to that sweep. If the cage wasn't there, he probably would have went.
Good shots to the ribs by Damon Teal from the bottom. That's something that's really important in these short amateur MMA rounds. The 2-minute rounds, they have to be active from every position they find themselves in.
Jaquay has moved to mount, but without punches to the face, you have limited offense from here, honestly.
Ain't that the truth? Damon Teal doesn't have to worry too much about what he's doing with his hands at this point. He's not going to get hit in the face. He can kind of be active and grabbing of the hips and the thighs with his hands. Beautiful sweep by Damon Teal into the guard of Jaquay. John Jaquay controlling the hands of Damon Teal, utilizing the thickness of the glove.
And both men back up.
Now, I just want to point out, that took John Jaquay an extra second to get up off of his back. Now, that could be indicative of
that
a
was
lot.
a big punch. Jaquay ran right into big right hand.
Wow. John Jaquay is throwing some fire right now on Damon Teal. What a chin on both fighters. Round one is in the books. How do you think that one went, Mike?
That is a very close round. I would have to give it to Jaquay, but it's really close.
That was a very close round. I would have to give it to Jaquay just because of the pressure he put on Damon Teal, but Teal did achieve a very nice sweep, and he had a couple of good knockdowns with that lead leg kick, especially knocking the leg out of John Jaquay.
And the stand-up, they are fighting at a very fast pace here.
Absolutely. This is one of those paces that you can see a lot whenever it comes down to these 2-minute rounds. That's another difference between Pennsylvania amateur MMA at the low level and Ohio MMA and many other states. The Pennsylvania amateur MMA has 2-minute rounds with, I believe, a 2-minute break in between.
No, it's only a 1-minute break.
I stand corrected. It's a 1-minute break.
But when you're fighting 2-minute rounds, it's a sprint. This isn't a marathon. You need to go out there and get all your work done in 2 minutes.
Round two's coming underway. I can't wait to see how Damon Teal's going to come out after that onslaught in the first round.
I am thinking there's going to be a lot more leather thrown right here.
Could John Jaquay smell blood? Could Damon Teal be re-examining his game plan for the fight. Good knee to the body by Damon Teal, pulling Gotc to the ground. Front headlock. Teal working on taking the back of Gotc, just needs to get his hooks in.
There it is, just close.
Now, to the untrained eye, it may not seem like it would be an advantageous move to have him in the position he's in, but a lot of jiu-jitsu players would actually say this is a better place to be than to be on his back in a turtle position. Damon Teal's sinking that choke in deep.
He's close on the choke.
He needs to get under the chin.
But he's not, he's kind of losing the angle here.
Wow. Very good, patient escape from that. Well, that
Vicious
was
body shots. But some of those are coming
Gotc
close to the head.
He's punching Damon Teal in the face with wanton disregard for the Pennsylvania State Athletic Commission's rules regarding that.
Chip Snyder rightly
I would call for a point. That was very flagrant to me.
stop the fight. Having Teal examined by his corner, possibly state officials. Here's the 1 point deduction.
Take one, okay? Go back over there. Right here, right here.
Was that a 1 point?
That was a 1 point
All right, well, Chip Snyder taking a point from Gotc, and rightfully so. I'm not saying that it shouldn't be a rule that they are not allowed to hit to the face on the ground, but if they're gonna, they both should have that opportunity. It's not okay for one guy to do that and then gain the upper hand midway through the second round of a possible 3-round fight. Important of note, when a point is taken from a fighter like that, that would mean on the judges' scorecards that that round is essentially unwinnable by the fighter who perpetrated the illegal move.
You good? You good? Okay, here we go. Sir, you ready? You ready? Let's fight.
Big whiff. Way in, but
Wow. Perhaps Damon Teal's patience could pay off here in the later rounds of this fight. Gotc looked a little bit tired.
Teal has a guillotine grip around the neck, but he doesn't even have a single leg in or hooked, so he can't finish this.
That's correct. Now, there it is. Now, Gotc is not able to pass from that side mount on Damon Teal, but it's still not a good position for Teal. Gotc going a north-south position, possibly looking for a Kimura or an arm lock. I don't think he has it, Mike.
He has no armbar there.
Round 2 is in the books. I would ask you who you thought took that round, but it's obvious by the loss of a point that that round had to have gone to Damon Teal in the flagrant foul on the part of Gotc.
You would think I would have scored the round in favor of Gotc, but I don't know. If it was 10-9 Gotc and then he loses a point, is it now a draw round?
It could now be a 9-9 round. You are right about that. You were always the better one at the math. You know, I have to wonder how that punch to the face affected Damon Teal, and it's not one of those things where it's that big of a deal. Who knows? 2 fights from now, 6 months from now, Damon Teal could be throwing heavy leather to the face on the ground. But whenever you're not expecting it and you're not anticipating that shot to the head and you're not blocking it, I mean, that's a huge, huge issue whenever you're midway through a scramble on the ground.
Damon Teal looks tired in his corner right now. His head is leaning against the cage. He looks exhausted.
Sir, you ready? You ready? Come on, let's fight.
Round 3 underway. Damon Teal and Gotc. Both fighters take center cage, and Gotc is just throwing heat. He is looking for that KO punch.
He wants to land that big right hand, and you know, he has, but limited effect on Teal.
That was a beautiful hip toss there by Damon Teal. Now he can get a little bit of time on top. Maybe he can do some real work, possibly work some jiu-jitsu.
It really was a really nice throw there.
Looks like he may be trying to isolate Gotc's left arm, possibly for a Kimura lock, and he does not have it anymore.
Come on, Red Eye, what you move?
Looks like he's about to get rolled, and he got rolled.
Beautiful sweep there by Gotc. John Jaquay's doing a great job of stifling the game of Damon Till tonight.
Jaquay is going for the Americana, and Till slips out. It's really hard to finish that. It's like the first submission everybody learns, and eventually it never works on anyone.
Unless you're John Jones fighting Vitor Belfort. He is still going to isolate that arm now. One of the things that's important of note, though, that Kimura grip that he was looking for, the Americana grip, can often be used to transition into different submissions like arm locks and sometimes even arm triangle chokes. I really think that Jaquay is playing with fire with how close he's coming to hitting Till in the face again. I mean, that's...
He is. He's coming real close with some of those shots.
I think he might have even landed a couple of them. I mean, I'm not here to, you know, I'm not the ref. I'm not here to judge. I'm just talking about the fight, but about 5 seconds left. And there it is, folks. This one is going to go to the judges. Beautiful show of respect by both fighters, especially after such a hard-fought 3 rounds. You know, that was really an impressive performance by John Jaquay, having been 1-0. His first fight, obviously, was an 11-second TKO versus Billy Sutton. He came out with that same idea and that same game plan against Damon Till tonight, and I think he found himself a tougher opponent than Damon Till.
Damon Till just has a hell of a chin. I saw him wear some shots that, I mean, his legs are kind of shaky right now, but he ate some serious punches to the face there that he just walked through.
Oh, he'll be feeling that a little bit later on tonight when he's out to dinner with his family. Maybe have a little headache. But that's what you get whenever he's what? I think he's 19 years old. I mean,
yeah. I mean, it's a lot of composure for a kid his age.
You know, Mike, let's take a look at the instant replay from that bout. Here we have Jaquay. That was
an elbow.
That was a grazing elbow to the head right there.
Yeah.
And we see going to the body.
And
there is a shot to the face.
And that was just too much for Chip Snyder to ignore.
You know, and I feel like a few seconds before that clip started, there were a few other things going on that we didn't get a chance to see.
I think there were too. I honestly don't think it was John Jaquay being intentionally malicious. I think, you know...
He's just a very aggressive fighter.
He's just a very aggressive fighter, and he got carried away, and he just let his hands go.
Absolutely. I am impressed with his performance, by the way. I mean, that was a very good performance by both fighters, but John Jaquay just, I think, put his name on the map here at Gladiators of the Cage for the amateur division at 170 pounds. And he looks like he might be 155 if he ever keeps going, you know? I mean, he's not that big.
If he moves up and gets the pro level. And I think his game probably would translate better at the pro level anyway.
Absolutely. Awaiting the judge's decision. Let's send it over to our ring announcer. Maybe we won't just yet send it to the ring announcer, Dan Bogan, but very shortly here we will have the judge's decision.
Come here.
And here is Dan Bogan, ready to let us know who won the bout.
Trap.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up to both of these guys. Our opening contest was main event quality action. We have a majority decision. Our first judge scores it 29 or 29-27 for the blue corner. Our second judge scores it 28-28. And our last judge scores it 29-27 for the blue corner. Fighting on the blue corner, your winner, John Jaquay. John, that was not an easy contest.
Good fight, though. Hey, this.
Who do you want to thank tonight? I want to thank all my sponsors, all my family over here, family, friends, came out to see me. Just want to tell everybody, after party at Blessed tonight. That's my sponsor, big sponsor. Everybody can come, just say my name, you're in for free. Damon, thanks for taking the fight. Where's Blessed located? Blessed is right down in Pittsburgh. I think on 9th Street.
9th Street in Pittsburgh. Come on down. Everybody's welcome. Free admission. I'll buy some people some beer, whatever. I don't care. Come on down.
Let's have your winner, John the Queen!
I would like to take a moment to thank Club Blush as well. Club Blush, if you are listening, Grant Berger and Mike Willis would love to get an invite. That being said, what an amazing bout this first fight the evening had. Very hard back and forth battle.
Yeah, and
Thank you very much for your help. We're located at 231 Halton Avenue, Halton Road, in Oakmont Truck Rental.
There you have it, Oakmont Truck Rental. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a word from our sponsors.
Some of our vendors this evening. We've got Low Bruiser.
Our original location is in Beachview, which is a little neighborhood, which is part of Pittsburgh. And our second location we opened up in August of 2014, and it's located in downtown Carnegie. You know, our style is a New York style pizza, so it's a little thinner, chewier crust, which typically in Pittsburgh you find thicker pizza with a lot of cheese. Munch, who was an undercover reviewer for the Post-Gazette, reviewed us. And then at the end of the year, he picked us as one of the top pizza places in the city. And then so far this year in 2015, we won Best Pizza and Best Hoagies for our area through the Tribune Review. Our dough we make daily. We let it rise for at least 24 hours prior to using, which creates texture in the dough, which gives it the nice browning and the chewy crust. Our sauce, we use San Marzano tomatoes, which is one of the best that you can use. They're whole tomatoes that we crush down and use fresh basil in the sauce. And then our cheese we shred here at each location using a mix of provolone and mozzarella. Pizza rolls, which we sell a couple hundred of those a day, offering pepperoni, spinach, steak and onion, raise their family eating our pizza and make it a tradition out of it. Come down to Slice on Broadway in Beachview or Carnegie.
Family owned and operated since 1956, Gillette Towing and Services are here for you. Our tow trucks operate 7 days a week, 24 hours a day when you need a tow. We offer hauling of heavy machinery and freight and can move oversized loads with escorts and cover all 48 lower states. Our excavation, demolition, and paving equipment can take care of any construction project you're working on, large or small. If your car needs repairs, we can handle mechanical as well as inspection and emissions. Call us today at 724-226-1222 or visit our website at rongillettinc.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back to our second bout of the evening. It is Jacob Kozarowski versus Dion Goodlow. Let's take a look at our tail of the tape for this second fight. We've got Jacob Kozarowski, 24 years of age, 6 feet 0 inches tall, 160 pounds with an unbeaten record of 3 wins and 0 losses. He is taking on Dion Goodlow, 26 years of age, 5 feet 7 inches, 160 pounds with an amateur record of 2 wins, 1 loss. Let's send it over to our ring announcer, Dan Bogan, to call in our fighters. Approaching the cage right now is Dion Goodlow. His last fight was a rear naked choke loss versus Zach Grossman in July of 2014. A little bit of a layoff since his last fight, looking at almost a year, in fact.
he's going to have a significant height advantage here. Or, oh, I'm sorry, disadvantage.
Absolutely. 5 feet 7 inches is Dion Goodlow. Both fighters have 3 fights as amateurs in their amateur career. Dion Goodlow's first 2 fights were in Ohio with Ohio rules, and he actually won both of those fights, which has something to say about the fighting spirit of Dion Goodlow. And I do not understand why he's
Goodlow making his way back to the dressing room.
Maybe somebody told him a joke that wasn't funny.
I am not sure why exactly he...
Dion Goodlow, I'm getting the signal that he wasn't wearing his shin guards, and this was supposed to be a fight with shin guards. A little bit of confusion here on the side of the organizers of the event. I don't know how that's going to play into his mentality coming into the cage, having to run back into the locker room, put on shin guards, and come back out. I mean, we know how how mentally you have to be prepared to make that final walk into the cage.
The lovely girls of Gladiators of the Cage.
The Gladiators girls. They're all waving at me. Let's hope that Dion Goodlow's walkout song will be long enough to cover this entire process.
Diamond ring. But out of that jet, 3 girls lined up. One had his suitcase, one had his briefcase, one on the other side had his garment bag. He climbed down. They had their hands up. This guy kicked them on the cheek and brought in a limousine. Then he waved them in. They came in. Beside that Learjet was a smaller Learjet. Crockett Promotions.
You know what, ladies and gentlemen, in the interim, let's have a word from our sponsors. Well, whenever I said we were going to have a word from our sponsors, I was purely joking. We are back to the beginning of our second bout of the evening. Dion Goodlow now getting the grease on his face.
I know, and now you're going to know.
To the untrained fight fans, it's important to note that Vaseline on his face has a very specific intention. It is to keep his face from being cut early on in the fight.
Certainly.
As we all know, a dry MMA glove to a dry skin on the face can cause a lot of friction and cause tearing of the skin, which could cause the fight to be stopped very early.
It is important to be a moist fighter.
Absolutely, moisture is key in the game plan of Dion Goodlow here tonight.
They bring the A-team. He was the 4th guy. Now he's the starter.
Dion Goodlow circling the cage, becoming comfortable.
From the red corner, we need Jake Kozarowski. Jake Kozarowski from the red corner.
Here we go. Now we are on track. Let's cross our fingers and hope that Jake Kozarowski is wearing his shin guards. Kozarowski is an undefeated 3-0 fighter. His last fight was a unanimous decision win versus Juan Hernandez in November of 2013. Now that's important to note that it's not quite 2 years, about a year and a half since he's actually competed in the cage. I wonder how that has to affect him being such a young fighter at 24 years of age. Also important to note, Jacob Kozarowski has never had a fight that did not go to a decision. He's 3-0, and that's 3 unanimous decision victories. So we have to have an idea of what kind of a fighter he is coming into the cage tonight, having never been involved with a finish in the cage. Kozarowski looking noticeably taller than Dion Goodlow. Very long and tall, 160-pound fighter here tonight.
He has almost 6 inches of height, and I imagine a lot of reach.
Very long legs. Let's send it over to our ring announcer, Dan Bogan, for the official introduction.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is our second event of the evening. It's in the amateur lightweight division, calling for 3 2-minute rounds. First, fighting out of the blue corner, he weighed in at 155 pounds. He stands 5 feet 7.5 inches tall, 26 years of age. His record is 2-1. He fights for Penn Hills MMA from Rankin, Pennsylvania. Dean Goody Goodlow! And his opponent fighting out of the red corner. He weighed in at 156 pounds, standing an even 6 feet tall. 24 years of age with an undefeated amateur record of 3-0. He fights for Cambria Martial Arts and York MMA from Evansburg, Pennsylvania. Welcome, Jake Kozarowski! Your referee, Chip Snyder.
Come on, let's bang.
Chip Snyder at the helm, beginning of our second bout of the evening. Jake Kozarowski versus Dion Goodlow. Both fighters having a bit of a feeling out process here early in the first. And a slip by Goodlow. Right back to his feet. Both fighters tied up on the fence. Big toss by Goodlow.
Good trip there.
Wow. And Goodlow looking to find full mount. Full mount by Goodlow early on in the first round. Both fighters are relatively dry, good for grappling.
Yeah, Kozarowski just has a lot of limbs.
He does. Which is good for striking, but in a lot of scenarios, that could lead to you being tripped and tossed a little bit easier than maybe someone with a more stout frame and stature. Kozarowski dropping his hands a lot with that kick. That would be something I'd be looking for if I were Goodlow. Kozarowski standing fairly stationary center cage right now. Not a whole lot of lateral movement. Oh, big toss. Right into the guard of Dion Goodlow.
Kozarowski. Kozarowski's on top. Unfortunately, at this level, with no punches ahead, there's just limited amounts of striking you can really accomplish here. You're mostly scoring points just by being in the position.
Absolutely. It's kind of amazing the way that, well, it's not exactly amazing, but the way they do it. You can't punch to the head, and good luck getting off on the ground with your jiu-jitsu from the guard with those shin guards on.
It makes it very, very difficult.
Round one is in the books. Mike, what do you think about that? Who do you think took that round?
Once again, it's kind of a close round. There wasn't what I would call a decisive winner. They both got takedowns. They both got back up from, the other person's takedown. Not a ton of damage on the feet.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I would actually have a tough time calling that one myself. I would have to lean a little bit toward Goodlow. He had a little bit more lateral movement and was forcing the direction of the fight. Someone more than Kozarowski.
I could consider that. That sounds reasonable.
In a fight like this, though, so early on in each guy's career, it's really tough to say how it's going to go until we see them get a little bit winded. I mean, like we were saying with these 2-minute rounds, that's really tough to have a guy get his game plan together and get off even in 2 minutes.
There's sometimes just not a lot to score on.
Yeah, definitely. 2 minutes, can't judge it, I mean, I guess they have to.
And both these guys also seem like guys who fight at a slower, more methodical pace as compared to the fight before this.
Absolutely. Round two. Goodlow again circling very heavily. Good kick.
Good kick there.
It seems like Kozarowski just kind of can't find a home for that right hand on Goodlow. He's throwing that right hand a lot, and it just keeps barely missing the chin of Dion.
I think Goodlow just has kind of tricky head movement there. But
someone is bleeding.
But Kozarowski got a takedown here, so.
Again into the guard of Goodlow. Let's see if he can do anything with it. These short rounds, we might see Chip Snyder perform a stand-up here.
I mean, I would say right now, considering the rule structure, Kozarowski's being fairly active on top.
I agree. Goodlow looks like he may be isolating an arm. Oh, and he stands up.
Stands back up.
Beautiful knee to the body.
Just misses with that uppercut.
A little less than 1 minute left in this second round.
Kozarowski sprawls out. Does not give Goodlow the takedown, and
I just want to see Kozarowski possibly do a little bit more damage. He's doing a good job controlling the smaller body of Goodlow. He's just not doing enough damage, I don't think. They both kind of look tired. Wow. Nice head and arm.
But Goodlow ends up with the better part of this. Oh, maybe not. Kozarowski reverses him.
Kozarowski once again nearly in the guard of Goodlow, but Goodlow's almost in a guillotine position. I don't know if I would consider that to be a submission attempt, and at this point I would say no.
It is not a submission attempt. There's nothing there.
Don't have to rub it in, Mike.
Yeah.
Round 2's in the books. Dion Goodlow and Jake Kozarowski. Another round I'd have a tough time judging. Not a whole lot of action from either fighter.
I would say I'd give that to Jacob Kozarowski. He was the one who was on top on the ground for the most part, and the stand-up striking was just negligible.
I would have to agree with you on that. Very tough time judging this if this ends up going the full 3 rounds on the side of our Pennsylvania State Athletic Commission judges tonight. Both fighters sucking a good bit of wind here, too, after this second round.
This should be familiar territory for Kozarowski, having every fight that he's been in go the distance.
Absolutely. Very vocal fans here tonight at the Syria Shrine Mosque Pavilion. I'd really love to see one of these fighters just start uncorking. I think this is the time.
I think the fight is here for one of them to steal. 2 good leg kicks in a row.
I'd agree. If somebody can make a really good effort in this 3rd round and really do some damage, I think the fight is theirs. Kozarowski looking to step through, can't get it though. And Goodlow with a bit of a takedown.
Goodlow ends up on top, but Kozarowski still trying to finish his takedown, so. And he's on the single, and he's got it.
Kozarowski back in the guard of Goodlow, and I think that may end up being one of the determining factors in the fight here tonight.
I think that could be it. If Goodlow isn't able to get back up from this position, the round and probably the fight go to Kozarowski.
Absolutely. Beautiful decision on the part of Chip Snyder, our referee here tonight, forcing a little bit of action at the end of this 3rd round.
Yeah, I would agree with that stand-up.
I mean, he's trying to make the job of the judges a little bit easier here.
Interesting throw variation there, shooting the double and then sort of turning on it and going with the head toss, but missing it because
did not happen to work.
There's way too much sweat on these guys at this point for that to happen.
You know, and he was going for a head and arm toss where you isolate the head and the far side arm of the opponent. Those don't often work in cage fights.
It's so hard to get that.
Normally works in the underhook.
Around the neck there, but not on the back.
About 5 seconds left in the 3rd round for our second fight of the evening. Dion Goodlow and Jacob Kozarowski. And that is it. It will go to the judges' scorecards. This will be the second decision insofar this evening.
Yeah, I mean, it was a close fight, but I think Kozarowski, especially in round 2 and 3, did just enough takedown-wise to sort of eke out a marginal decision here.
I would have to agree. I mean, I would have liked to see a little bit more action from both fighters, but I think that the fact that we found Kozarowski laying in the guard and controlling Dion Goodlow from the top so much may have been the determining factor in the decision. But then again, we don't ever know how the judges saw it, so we can't exactly make any predictions. I have to agree, though. I would go with Kozarowski on this one. Both fighters look not extremely winded. I mean, I have to feel like they could have left a little bit more out there tonight, but both of them fought a somewhat smart fight. Both are walking away fairly uninjured tonight, so I guess if that's the goal and they have to go to work Monday morning, then they both won.
And most of these guys are never going to make a living professionally fighting.
Absolutely.
So,
all right, let's send it over to our ring announcer, Dan Bogan, for the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a unanimous decision. All 3 judges have scored it 30-27. For your winner, fighting out of the right corner, Jake Kozarowski! Jake tell us about this fight.
Well, it was supposed to be, well, shouldn't say supposed to be. I thought it was going to be an advanced amateur fight. Right at the last minute, got some bad news that it's a regular amateur fight. It kind of threw me off just a little bit. I was already had a game plan for the advanced fight, preparing for 3-minute rounds. We got to go a little faster with these 2-minute rounds, so.
Well, the preparation didn't seem to hurt you. The results were still the same, right? That's all that matters, I would hope. Is there anyone you'd like to thank?
Yeah, I want to thank my parents and my sister that came out and watched me. I want to thank everyone, the Canberra Martial Arts Academy and York MMA down in York. I just got a job down there, started training with them immediately. All my training partners I ever trained with, thank you guys for helping me get this far. Thanks.
Let's hear it for your winner, Jake Kozarowski!
All right, well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Jake Kozarowski wins another unanimous decision, bringing up to an undefeated 4-0 as an amateur. Coming into our third fight of the evening, let's send it over to a word from our sponsors.
Everywhere you turn, people are working out, living a healthy lifestyle, and eating healthier foods. And there's no better way to kick off the new year than enjoying a mouth-watering Mona Lisa wrap for only $5.99. It's all made with the freshest ingredients and cooked to a healthy perfection. For only $5.99 and under 500 calories, the Mona Lisa wrap is a delicious way to keep your New Year resolution. Muscle Maker Grill. Great food with your health in mind.
Train hard, look good, feel better.
Come to the rehab center.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are about to begin our third bout of the evening. Jonathan Kaufman is taking on Jonas Rubiano. Let's have a look at our tail of the tape. We've got Jonas Rubiano. He's 29 years of age, 5 feet 9 inches tall, weighing in at 140 pounds with an amateur record of 2 wins and 1 loss. He will be fighting Jonathan Kaufman, 23 years of age, 5 feet 5 inches tall, weighing in at 140 pounds with an even record of 3 wins and 3 losses.
Is this better? All right, we're ready for the blue corner at this time. Jonas Rubiano. Jonas Rubiano. Blue corner, Jonas Rubiano, cage side of the inspection staging area, please.
Jonas Rubiano preparing to walk to the cage for our third bout of the evening. Rubiano in the blue corner, his last fight was a unanimous decision loss to Vladimir Kazbekov in March of this year. Previous to that, Rubiano won his first 2 fights with finishes, so that means he has only been to 1 unanimous decision, and that was his last fight, Gladiators of the Cage in March.
Rubiano looks like he has a lot of crowd support here. Big following, lots of friends and family.
Absolutely. Team Flip Mode. Believe that is a reference to his Filipino origins, judging by the flag on the shirt.
I was trying to figure out what flag that was. I wasn't sure, but now I am.
Wow, a lot of support here for Rubiano. That's exciting to see. Coming out of Stout Training and Team Henzo Gracie Pittsburgh, a very highly touted school here in the Pittsburgh area.
Mike Wilkins applying Vaseline to his face here.
Who is Mike Wilkins?
Mike Wilkins is a very talented up-and-coming 155 pro from Renzo Gracie.
Absolutely. A lot of people are looking to see Wilkins make his way to the bigs here in the hopefully the future. But for now, he's spending a lot of time training these amateur fighters to be the best in the area out of stout training. Very, very highly touted school. Jonathan Kaufman getting ready to take his way to the cage. Kaufman out of underground grappling, local school here in the Pittsburgh area. What's interesting about Kaufman is he actually has twice as many fights as Jonas Rubiano. Now, he does have an even record of 3-3, which, you know, he's experienced more losses than Rubiano, but he does have a tremendous amount more cage experience.
And this is going to be contested under the Tier 2 rules, as neither man has shin pads on, so no shin pads, and this will have punches to the head on the ground.
Absolutely, a very big change in the rules here whenever you go to Tier 2 for amateur MMA. Jonathan Kaufman's last fight was a knee bar victory versus Osahan Ono Osagi in July of 2014, and that was at Pinnacle Fighting Championships.
Impressive victory and an impressive name for his opponent.
Absolutely. You know, anybody that can pull off a knee bar in a cage fight has my respect. That's not an easy move to really perform, especially whenever you're actually wearing the gloves and all that stuff. Now, I have to point out, maybe he was wearing shin guards.
Actually, with shin guards on, knee bar action becomes a little bit easier. It's one of the few things that probably helps.
And interesting of note about Jonathan Kaufman, every win he's had has been via submission, and every loss he's had has been a decision. Walking out with former Gladiators of the Cage commentator Charlie Smith there. Kaufman confident, entering the cage. Let's send it over to our ring announcer, Dan Bogan, for the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is our amateur main event of the evening. It is in the Gladiators of the Cage amateur bantamweight division, being contested under advanced amateur rules, which means three-minute rounds. First, fighting out of the blue corner, he weighed in at 135 pounds. He stands 5 feet 9 inches tall, 29 years of age, with a 2-1 record. He fights out of stout training Pittsburgh and Renzo Gracie Pittsburgh. He's from Pittsburgh. Welcome, Jonas Flipman Rubiano! And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. He weighed in at 135 pounds. He stands 5 feet 5 inches tall. He has a 67-inch reach, 23 years of age, with a record of 3-3. He fights for underground grappling. He's from Greensburg, Pennsylvania. Welcome, Jonathan Kaufman! Your referee, Jim Steiner.
Okay, gentlemen, here we go. Sir, you ready? Sir, you ready? Come on, let's back.
Here it is, folks, our amateur main event of the evening. Jonathan Kaufman and Jonas Rubiano. Kaufman coming out looking very light on his feet. Kaufman looking, he's putting the pressure on Rubiano and going for the takedown early.
Well, this kind of weight, both guys are always fast.
Absolutely. A little bit close to kneeing the head of Rubiano was Kaufman. Now that's something to be noticing. Although both of the fighters are in advanced amateur rules where they can kick without the shin pads and they can punch in the ground, they're still not allowed to kick or knee to the head.
Good takedown by Kaufman. I don't know if he's going to be able to keep him there. Rubiano working. Looks like he has a Kimura grip on the arm, but the arm is straight, and I think he lost it here.
He was kind of on the wrong side of the half guard there for that specific submission, it would seem. Kaufman in the guard of Rubiano. Now, I know Jonathan Kaufman's very comfortable on the ground. As I said, all three of his wins have been via submission in the cage. Appears Rubiano's trying to posture his hips for an armbar, possibly.
Rubiano's doing the right thing. He's trying to get his guard up. The higher you get your guard towards the head, the more offensive you can be.
If I were Kaufman right now, I would be really focusing on keeping that head tucked and getting ready to yank that arm out if he goes for that arm bar, because he's doing a great job of turning his hips perpendicular to Kaufman's spine.
He is getting off at the angle he needs to attempt a submission here.
Important note, the advanced amateur rules have 3 3-minute rounds. These fighters have a little bit more time to work on executing a good game plan here. Very good exchange by both fighters. Kaufman pulling guard.
Now Kaufman's turn to work from the bottom.
You know, when I talked to Kaufman's coach, Charlie Smith, before the fight this evening, this is not a bad thing for Kaufman. He was very well prepared to get himself on the bottom and work his jiu-jitsu. A grappling heavy school is Kaufman.
Already going for the leg lock. Excellent transition.
Wow.
He's got the
He
angle.
can do a straight leg lock. This is legal. He cannot twist it, but he is allowed to do a straight ankle lock.
He is on the ankle. He just needs to stretch him out a little bit more.
Wow. Kaufman's cranking that Achilles lock. He could break the leg here of Rubiano if he doesn't be careful.
So the problem with the lock right now is it is a little bit too high on his elbow.
It's slipping down
on his forearm.
He needs to get his wrist right on the Achilles tendon. Not exactly sure what happened there. Chip Snyder standing the fighters up. Maybe he thought that the ankle lock was turning into a bit of a twisting move. Round 1 in the books. Very, very impressed by the performances here by both fighters tonight. The ankle lock attempt by Kaufman, that was really something else, huh?
I think for me, that's why I would give him the round. That is...
Well, he sat in the guard of Rubiano, and Rubiano was trying to become active, trying to attempt submissions, and he just could not do it versus Kaufman. And I think that would also be another determining factor in the fact that Kaufman controlled the ground here in the first round.
Yeah, and most of the fight was on the ground, so he controlled the first round.
Absolutely.
Not entirely sure what the stand-up there was for. Can only guess that it had something to do with the leg lock beginning to twist, and you are not allowed to do twisting leg submissions at the amateur level.
I tend to agree, but from my angle, it looked like an attempt at a straight Achilles lock, but you never know. And every decision made by the referee here tonight is for the fighter's safety. Getting ready for round 2. Chip Snyder, our referee this evening, cleaning a little bit of, appears to be water off of the corner of Jonathan Kaufman.
Okay, sir, you ready? Come on, let's fight.
Here we go. Round 2 is beginning. Both fighters looking fairly fresh. Kind of an awkward striking stance there by Rubiano.
Oh,
Kaufman lost his mouthpiece.
Flies out there.
I can tell you from experience that is not good.
And
does not want to lose a tooth.
Rubio's under the neck, but no. Kaufman's on top. He doesn't have that.
I would hope that Chip Snyder would pause this for a moment and give the mouthpiece back to Jonathan Kaufman.
I'm not sure if...
I had my mouthpiece knocked out in a cage fight in 2012, and I'm still dealing with dental issues to this day from losing a tooth.
Rubio's on the neck here.
Wow.
He's got those long, thin arms that can really get a bite in this kind of position.
Is this what you would call a prayer choke, possibly, or a prayer guillotine?
Or a variation on a Bravo.
I'm so glad that Chip Snyder stopped that. I did not want to see anybody lose a tooth here tonight. That's something else. That's, as an amateur fighter, you're not getting paid for these fights. Maybe you're getting a little bit from sponsorship, but there's nothing here that's going to cover you getting your teeth replaced, believe me.
And they're going to restart
I love
in
that.
position.
Very wise on the part of Chip Snyder, starting them back in the same position. Chip is a grappling master himself. He knows exactly what position they were in, and he's very good at resetting them in a fair way. Rubiano just teeing off right off the jump, and a good sweep by Kaufman. Kaufman, I'm not exactly sure who's got the upper hand right now. Kaufman's got that single leg, but he's getting his body passed by Rubiano. Wow, and Kaufman trapped Rubiano's right leg with his left shin, and that is a determining factor on if he can get his position tight.
And that might be the move that allows him to basically finish this takedown and get position.
Absolutely. Pinching the knees together is Kaufman. Very, very patient and methodical in this takedown. I love that. He needs to worry about the guillotine, number one, I would say. If I were Kaufman, he needs to get his head out of there. He's hiding his head in a good way. The fact that he's got his head tucked under the arm of Rubiano is keeping him from absorbing too much punishment from the punches, but he is at risk of getting guillotined, especially by a Renzo Gracie Jiu-Jitsu trained fighter. And he is out.
He is now attempting his own guillotine, possibly.
Wow. Good defense on the part of Rubiano, straightening out the arm of Kaufman.
Nice knee exchange by both men.
Kaufman again to that single leg. I feel like that's a very comfortable position for him. Almost to the end of the second round. I expect to see them stall out here for the last few minutes, possibly Kaufman posturing up and throwing a couple of hits, getting some damage done.
Now that round, I would probably go with Rubino here. He had the better submission attempt with the choke, and even though he was on the bottom, he landed more shots.
I would have to agree. I mean, Kaufman's is playing a dangerous game here right now because he's unafraid of being on his back. He's unafraid of being in the guard. And if that works for him, good. But I mean, whenever it comes to the eyes of the judges, they may view that in different ways.
Kaufman just spent most of his time on top in that round, kind of securing position. But a lot of times he was getting punched. He was getting hit.
Absolutely, I agree. Not very active from the top was Kaufman. That's something I think would have garnered him a little bit more points in the eyes of the judges. Maybe if he could have gotten off a few more shots.
I think so. If he had just landed a little bit more, I would have given him that round.
Round three coming down. Let's go Jonathan Kaufman in the red corner, taking on Jonas Rubiano in the blue. That would signify the tape on their gloves. Good kick by Kaufman, and Rubiano is just tracking him down with these punches. Kaufman with that single leg.
Nice single leg there. He did not like what he was getting on his feet, so I went to the single leg.
Now this is something different, okay? The only time that we've seen Kaufman on top in this position insofar has been with Rubiano's back up against the fence. And that tends to stifle a lot of the submission attempts and a lot of the movement that he could be performing. Now that we have him in the middle of the cage, he's got a lot more open room, open mat space to try and work on some jiu-jitsu.
He does.
I would not be surprised if he goes for another straight ankle lock here in this third round. Stand up by Chip Snyder. I would have to give
him back up.
I would give that takedown to Kaufman.
Obviously.
That was a beautiful front kick there by Kaufman as well.
I think Rubino wants to find his range and work some boxing, but I don't think Kaufman wants any part of that.
You know, if we're talking about who's controlling the fight, who's controlling the pace, who's controlling where the fight's happening, I have to give it to Kaufman right now. Every time he's gotten close enough to Rubiano, he's put him down onto his butt.
Another takedown here for Kaufman, but
a lot of rabbit punches by Rubiano. Now, those might not be hurting Kaufman, but they are racking up points in the eyes of the judges.
I mean, on the one hand, Kaufman has gotten a takedown, but Kaufman also hasn't landed a single shot this round.
Well, he's gotten 2 takedowns this round. I mean, he's doing a great job of controlling the posture of Rubiano. Rubiano being, like I said, a stout training and Renzo Gracie jiu-jitsu fighter. I mean, he's really not having an easy time getting back up and defending the takedown.
And now Rubino's in a very advantageous position here.
Really teeing off on Kaufman right now, but Kaufman is maintaining a top position, it appears. That's a 6 to 12 elbow there on the ribs.
Kaufman's ribs are turning a nice shade of red here from the pounding he's been getting.
You know, he's a tough kid, though. You can't say anything about that. I mean, he knows what he's trying to do here in this fight. Here's where Rubiano's going to start teeing off.
Those are some nice shots by Rubino.
Single leg attempt, and Rubiano, you got me messed up on that name. He is just Rubino. I'm sorry, Rubino family. I've been saying his name wrong the whole time. Wow!
We might have been saying his name wrong, but he's doing something right.
We will not forget it after this. Kaufman fighting his heart out. My God. What a fight. What a fight. Two warriors.
Excellent finish that round by Rubino.
You know, I can't say enough about that fight. That would have fight of the night contention, in my opinion. Both fighters just taking it to each other for all 3 rounds. You know, Mike, let's take a look at the instant replay. Here we see the last 25 seconds of that 3rd round. Rubino is just teeing off on Kaufman. And Kaufman has not once faltered in grabbing that single leg.
No, he is really good at getting that single.
Absolutely. Now, there's different viewpoints on takedowns in MMA. I've always personally thought that if you can get a single leg, why not get a double leg? With a double leg, you are always able to pass into a different and more advantageous position. You don't find yourself in that single leg paradox that a lot of these guys will end up in with their head tucked and holding on to one leg for dear life, you know.
It's just easier to get on a single.
Man, look at Kaufman absorbing the punishment. Rubiano really dishing it out. That was very close, I think, to Chip Snyder stopping that fight until he grabbed that leg there in the last 5 seconds.
It looked very close.
Let's send it over to our ring announcer, Dan Bogan, for the official decision.
Remember now, stay out the back and hit now. Stay clear. Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a unanimous decision. All 3 judges have scored it 29-28 for your winner. Fighting out of the blue corner, Jonas Lippman Rubiano. Jonas, was he as tough, not as tough, or exactly as tough as you thought?
He was a lot tougher, man. He had a size on him, but dude is strong. Great sportsman. Thank you, John.
Who do you want to thank to get you here? When the door cages, you're in here alone, but it takes a lot of people to get all the fighters into this spot. Who do you want to thank?
Yeah, real fast. Honor and Conquer, the clothing brand. Thank you for believing in me. Thank you. Everyone down on all my training partners at Stout Chain Pittsburgh. Henzo Gracie Pittsburgh, what up? Team Babyweight, what up? Flip Mode, what up? All my instructors, and I got married last year. What up, Jamie?
Let's hear it for Jonas Flipman Rubiano!
Well, there you have it, folks. I was right the whole time. His name is Jonas Rubiano, and we will not forget that name after the performance we just saw here tonight. Now, in preparation for our professional bouts of the evening, we are going to go over to a 15-minute intermission. We will see you soon, folks.
I want to send out a special up.
Wilkins passed straight from half guard to mount and pushed his knee through, went right to mount. Big elbow. Some strikes and elbows. Really doesn't really have much of an answer right now other than cover up. He's got to start moving, otherwise Chip Snyder's going to hop in. Chip Snyder's raining down on him. Yeah, referee's taking a hard look here. Wilkins is probably wondering what he's got to do to get it stopped. It's probably not even that he's that hurt. Just doesn't have an answer. It's very tough to get out of this position. To the ground. He's a high-level wrestler.
the Mat Factory, known for their wrestling and their incredible work ethic. And a huge,
That's one way to get the fight to the ground.
that is one way to get the fight. Oh my. Wow.
My name's Zach Grossman. I fight out of Renzo Gracie Stout, Pittsburgh training. I used to get in some trouble. Thought it was tough. I liked MMA. Went to a gym, started training. That's really it. You know, got my ass kicked up and down, and yeah, that's how I got into it. I like the camaraderie. I like the healthy lifestyle that I lead because of it. I didn't always used to be like that. I like everyone at the gym. I feel like everyone I meet within the gym and within MMA is just good people all around. So yeah, I definitely like that part about it. And I just want to, I want to take it as far as I possibly can. I'm in the gym every day. I just fought this past weekend. I was in the gym on Monday back training. I want to take it as far as my abilities and my skill level will let me, and as far as my body will hold up and let me do that. So I'm taking it as far as I can. Yeah, I mean, I got like my mom and like all my aunts. They're all like, "When are you gonna stop fighting? Get a real job or do something." But this is what I love to do. My dad loves it. My dad was a big boxing fan.
Can he do it? And the tap! Zach Grossman wins via rear naked choke in the second round.
My next fight, I just got word actually this morning, August 9th, against a guy from Brazen Boxing. It's a good gym, so I'm excited about it. They're out of Philly. His name's Shaquem Hull. I know he's fought for Gladiators, I think twice already. He's got 2 wins under Gladiators. So I'm looking to go out there and keep my streak going and put on a good performance.
For Pittsburgh, Zach Grossman!
Style from Stephen Thompson from UFC. Nice kick. That karate style, Stephen Thompson known for that as well.
Another kick caught him.
Wow.
Zach has a good opportunity. Oh, wow.
And a surprising and sudden submission.
That calling it out, it just puts a more mental factor. Great takedown. I like how Mazada actually uses it to he's changing his leads quite a bit.
Fire the counter straight right off of that low leg kick. Again, Mazada begins to employ the wrestling.
Yep. Nice.
Opposite like that. Like that.
That's it.
There's the tap, that's it.
This north-south choke here. And he taps. Howard taps.
Here we go, folks. Coming out in the blue corner, we have Zach Grossman entering the cage. Sorry for the delay there. We had a little bit of a technical difficulty. Zach Grossman.
From the red corner, Jake Anderson to the inspection area cage side. Jake Anderson.
And here comes Jake Anderson coming in for his 3rd professional bout. Now, as we could have said earlier, Zach Grossman, this is his professional debut, had a very long and lurid amateur career spanning over 4 years. Jake Anderson coming into his 3rd professional fight. Jake Anderson's last fight was a loss, though, via TKO to Richard Gates in September of 2014. Now, I know that the height discrepancy is not too much, but it does look as if Jake Anderson is a bit smaller, but a bit more svelte than Zach Grossman, a bit more stacked. Jake Anderson's pro debut was a TKO loss in 2014. That's when he began his pro career. At one point during his amateur career, he held the 170-pound welterweight belt in his respective promotion. So just as a note here, folks, this is our first professional bout of the evening. The rules, as usual, have changed from, second tier and the advanced amateur, and now we are on to pro. The professional fighters will have 3 5-minute rounds. The professional fighters are allowed to elbow and punch to the head of a grounded opponent, and they will be permitted to kick and knee to the head of a standing opponent. Now let's send it over to our ring announcer, Dan Bogan, for the official introduction.
Ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you for the tremendous turnout this evening to the Sirius Shriner Center in Cheswick, Pennsylvania, and those watching at home on GOTC MMA high-def streaming live. It's time to start the professional division of our evening. Starting this evening in the professional lightweight category of Gladiators in the Cage, calling for 3 5-minute rounds. First, fighting out of the blue corner, he weighed in at 155 pounds. He stands 6 feet tall, 26 years of age, making his professional debut. From Enzo Gracie in Stone Training, Pittsburgh. From Warwick, New York, Zach Grossman. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, he weighed in at 155 pounds. He stands 5 feet 10 inches tall. He's 29 years of age with a 68-inch reach and 0-2 record. He fights out of Kinetics Combat Sports from Jamestown, New York. Welcome, Jake Anderson! The third man in the cage, Chip Snyder.
Okay, gentlemen, here we go. Sir, you ready? Sir, you ready? Come on, let's bet.
Our fourth bout of the evening is our professional debuts.
Wow, they're coming out slugging.
Wow. I think Zach Grossman may have actually caught Anderson off guard a little bit, the look on his face. These guys are coming out like a lion, that's for sure. Push kick by Grossman. Now he's got the tie clinch.
Tie clinch, which is always the advantage for a taller guy.
Grossman doing a great job controlling his opponent against the fence with his forehead. And now his shoulder.
Oh, that was low, and I think that really hurt Grossman. You could tell the reaction immediately.
You know, I don't hold it against Jake Anderson. You can tell he did that as an accident. That was not boo-worthy in my opinion, but that was definitely a low blow. Let's see if maybe we can get a look at that on the instant replay. Here in a second. We'll take a look at that in a second. Right now, we're seeing Zach Grossman feeling the pain. This is not the way either fighter wants this to be happening right now. Believe me, folks.
I think sometimes with low blows, there is an exaggeration among fighters. Guys use it to take a break, but here,
let's take a look at how hard that low blow was.
I just think that was right on the numbers.
Lifted the hips of Grossman.
And you can tell Grossman is in obvious pain here. This is not an exaggeration, and there's no need for him to want a break because this fight was only 20 seconds in.
100%. I believe Grossman has up to 5 minutes to recover if he chooses to do so. And
yes, he does.
And if he can't after that 5 minutes, then this fight will be ruled, I believe, a no contest.
It would be a no contest, I think, because there certainly isn't enough to go to the judges' scorecards here.
100%. Now, my advice to Jake Anderson would be to go after him and get him now, because even if he says he's not hurt, he is still going to be feeling the pain on that, and it's not the way a lot of guys want to think about fighting, but it is what a tactical fighter would do.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, there is really no way to unkick someone's balls.
Believe me, I've tried.
Once that cat is out of the bag, it's not going back in.
What's important right now for Zach Grossman, he needs to recover, but for Jake Anderson, he needs to keep his wits sharp right now, because a lot of guys will have this happen, and I've seen it many a time. They come back into the fight timid. They feel like they've done something wrong. They've been booed by the crowd, but he needs to keep his wits sharp and get at it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Grossman coming out with some big shots there.
Anderson able to turn Grossman's back against the fence. What Jake Anderson's doing right now is he's keeping Zach Grossman standing upright by putting his forehead under the chin of Grossman. That really keeps him from being able to get off very much with different takedowns, although Grossman did turn Anderson once again.
And you'd have to think here Anderson might be a little timid about throwing any more knees in this position.
I have to agree. I will say, though, right now Zach Grossman has double underhooks, and he is the taller fighter. Let's see if he can find something to do with that.
If that cage wasn't there, he would probably have had the trip already. But
absolutely.
There it is.
There it is. Beautiful takedown there by Zach Grossman with the double underhooks. Grossman easily passing to half. A lot of technique in so far in this first round of this fight.
Grossman is locking down the top of this half guard position just right. He's got his weight distribution really good here, and pinning that far shoulder, and that's what you need to do. Oh.
This is very, very technical right now. Anderson has a sort of a modified arm triangle on Grossman right now from the bottom. Now his leg positioning isn't right to be able to finish.
It does,
like
but
that.
You can't finish from that position. And now
he did sweep.
He did use it to get on top, but he has to let it go. You can't finish from the top of guard.
Absolutely. And he did let go, trying to soften up the body of Grossman a bit.
That's what he needs to do, is just use this to sort of punch the ribs and take advantage of it positionally.
Jake Anderson looking very patient and postured in his ground game against Grossman, knowing full well that Grossman's got a good jiu-jitsu game.
Oh.
Wow. Guillotine.
That guillotine is in.
That's tight.
That is a tight arm in guillotine.
This is really tough to call right now.
Yeah.
Grossman's trapping his own arm, it appears, under Anderson's leg. If Grossman can, he's passing to the wrong direction right now is what's happening. He's going to tighten that choke on himself if he's not careful.
I think he might be out here. And honestly, Anderson might have cranked his arm out. You know.
Yeah, 100%. Very good defense there by Grossman. Here comes the toss attempt by Anderson. Grossman looks a little bit worn out. I'm not sure if Grossman's used to the 5-minute round format, and that might be a factor here in this fight coming into the later rounds.
It might be. I mean, also, Anderson is a little bit stockier, probably a little bit stronger.
I'd say so, and Anderson's been he's spent a lot of time cranking on the neck of Grossman, and that could have an effect on your endurance as well. Beautiful elbows from the clinch there by Anderson as well.
And a takedown to punctuate the end of this round.
I would say that would punctuate the end of the round very nicely. What do you think about that first round between Jake Anderson and Zach Grossman there, Mike?
Wow, hard round to score. A lot of these rounds and a lot of these fights tonight have been hard to score. You know, given the decent guillotine attempt the takedown at the end, the reversal. I kind of have Anderson.
I think I would have to agree on that one, although he did have a blatant shot to the groin of Zach Grossman. It wasn't intentional, and it was not a point taken away, so that round very well could have gone to Jake Anderson, and I could see many reasons why that would have.
Yeah, I think I would score it for him, though. Grossman landed a couple of nice shots on the feet, and it was close. It certainly wasn't a one-sided round.
Now I'm noticing, look at Jake Anderson's corner. They're massaging the right bicep of Jake Anderson's arm and icing his right shoulder. I'm not sure if that's in preparation for a haymaker or maybe if he had that wrenched on a bit some point during the fight. It's a silly thought to say it was in preparation for a haymaker, Mike. I was joking. Anderson's looking fresh.
He is. Looks like he landed a jab there. And,
staying just out of range of Grossman's long arms. Wore a nice shot to the chin there a second ago as well.
Reverses Grossman, pushes him up against the cage.
He needs to be careful with those fingers in the eyes of Grossman. I can see what he's doing there and what his technique is, but he needs to be very, very wary of fouling his opponent twice in one fight. I'm really liking what Anderson's doing, though, with his forehead and the chin of Grossman. Every time he gets Grossman on the fence, he's keeping Grossman standing upright as much as he can, making it more possible for him to land shots and not allow Grossman to extend himself and strike on him.
That was nice.
Wow.
Switched directions there, took him back the other way.
Nice takedown.
Working on getting the back here. Got one hook in, got the second hook in, and he's got a back ride.
This is where he wants to be. He has Grossman's hips off of the floor, keeping Grossman from really being able to utilize his hips to move himself out of this position.
Switching to figure four, leg triangle there.
Not only is he figure four leg triangling, he's using his feet in a really good way to control the hips of Grossman.
And the fact that he took the triangle to the other side due to his position, that was actually pretty smart of him.
Softening up Grossman's face for what would appear to be a rear naked choke attempt. You know, the leg triangle from the back is a very popular technique used whenever you're going for a choke, but it does limit the number of submissions you can do from the back.
It really does. And sometimes it seats you so high that you can't even get the choke.
Wow, Jake Anderson looks like he's going for a face crank. No shit's given about the neck. This is something we're seeing a lot more these days. Guys are practicing a la catch wrestling, just cranking on the face and the jaw of their opponent instead of going for the choke.
Well, you need more stuff from this angle. Here, close.
I mean, it is possible to break someone's jaw or dislocate their jaw if you go for a choke attempt like that. Even if you aren't around the carotid arteries to perform a proper rear naked choke, you can still cause damage.
Yeah, with the limitations on how much striking you can do from this position, because the back of the head would be the most prominent target, but it is also highly illegal. And the elbows you would be able to throw there also very illegal.
I gotta say, I'm loving Jake Anderson's leg positioning on this back. He is making it very, very difficult for Zach Grossman to do anything about it.
He is, and he's doing a very, very good job keeping this position.
He is setting himself up for a possible armbar position here now. If Zach Grossman decides to turn away to his left or possibly create a little bit of space from that cage, Jake Anderson is set up to throw up an armbar on the right arm of Grossman.
He is. He'd have to undo the leg triangle first, and that might telegraph the coming armbar.
Exactly. That's what we were just saying a second ago about that triangle being a really limiting leg position from the back.
I wouldn't slide off to the armbar yet with a minute 8 left.
Absolutely.
I would wait for my corner to signal when there's maybe 10, 20 seconds, then go for it.
And the beauty of what's happening with Jake Anderson's leg positioning right now is to note Jake Anderson's leg triangle is on the left side of Grossman. Notice how Grossman turns to his left now. That is the way he would escape that leg triangle. What Anderson wants is for his knee to be on the ground, not his foot.
And he has switched sides on his triangle to accommodate that.
Very slick in his jiu-jitsu.
So now with time in this round running short, down to 25 seconds, I would consider switching to armbar.
I would have to agree right there. Or going for something different, maybe trying to get some sort of a sweep. Grossman's doing nothing but just hanging on right now. I mean, he must know there's 10 seconds left in the round, but that doesn't look good in the eyes of the judges.
No.
He's all but proven that he has no answer to the back mount of Jake Anderson right now.
Well, that round at least was easy to score.
Absolutely. That went to Jake Anderson, 100%.
Oh. Jake Anderson kind of on rubbery legs here. You know, sometimes what happens when you're holding that leg triangle position is you can kind of cause cramps in your calves. Like you almost are putting yourself in a calf lock sometimes to hold it.
Yeah, I can see it. Looks like his right calf might be cramped up a little bit the way his toe is just touching the mat.
I think that's a strong possibility. He could have sort of Charlie horsed himself.
Now, what I would say right now, coming into this third round, is that I would say Zach Grossman is going to be throwing some real heat, trying to make sure he has a definitive end to this 3-round fight, possibly ending it in this third round.
I think he needs to come out of this corner on fire, you know, and throw hard.
He cannot just be contented to have his back taken and just defend from the strikes in this third round of this fight. Will definitely go to Jake Anderson as a decision. Round 3 beginning between Zach Grossman in the blue corner with Jake Anderson in the red corner. Grossman looks visibly worn out, but as does Anderson.
Nice leg kick by Grossman.
Grossman's throwing heat. Really headhunting on Anderson right now.
Nice leg kick again.
Both fighters just going for the waylay right now. It's a beautiful thing.
Grossman going for the takedown, but Anderson kind of defending it, getting his hips low.
Anderson's got a nice underhook on his, oh, no he does not, he has a head on the right side. He needs to be weary of letting Zach Grossman have those double underhooks again. As we've seen in the first round, that could lead to a takedown.
I think here Grossman has to be worried about Anderson doing the same that he did last time and sort of switching out and going back the other way on him.
Absolutely. Jake Anderson's proved that he has some very slick techniques for Greco-Roman under his. There we see it.
Like that.
Up his sleeve. Not exactly a flare of a toss if we're using wrestling terminology, but it definitely is effective. And he's done it more than once today in this fight. 3.5 minutes left, and I would not be surprised if Anderson's going to find a way to pass the guard if Grossman continues to keep his feet open that way.
I mean, Anderson here honestly is in a good position. I mean, he absolutely knows he won the last round. Oh, there's a triangle. Grossman with a triangle.
Zach Grossman, a Renzo Gracie jiu-jitsu fighter.
Now, unless he gets that arm across, he's not going to finish the crank there. And
look how long the legs of Grossman are, but I don't know if he has enough pepper right now to be able to force that triangle.
And with the sweat, trying to force that arm across, not going to happen. So really what he needs to do is strike.
I would say he's doing what he needs to do right now. Hook under the left leg of Anderson, get the sweep, and start striking from the top if possible.
Well, he's increasing the pressure on that triangle, though.
Wow.
And wow. What a come-from-behind victory.
Amazing triangle by Zach Grossman. Good goodness.
That was a super impressive come-from-behind victory there.
Jake Anderson is just spent. What a performance by both fighters tonight. Zach Grossman winning in his pro debut here tonight. now an undefeated 1-0 as a professional. Let's take a look at our instant replay, see if we have any highlights from this fight. Here we see the triangle from Zach Grossman on the bottom, and just saying he needs to hook under the left leg of Anderson, which he did.
And
that twisting pressure.
The twisting brings the arm across the body, which cuts off the carotid artery and puts you in a better position to finish.
What a performance by both fighters here tonight, though. I have to say, there were many times I thought Jake Anderson had that. I wasn't sure if Grossman was going to be able to pull it off there in the end. He looked very tired, but that's a fighter's heart and a fighter's will right there. He found a way to win. He made the decision, and he did it.
I think Anderson got a little complacent on top there. Just as I was talking about him just sort of trying to easily ride out the win, that didn't happen.
I have to agree. Let's send it over to our ring announcer, Dan Bogan, for the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner at 2 minutes and 31 seconds of round 3 via tap out by the leg triangle, fighting out of the blue corner, Zach Grossman!
See the dog on your way out of there.
Zach? Who do you want to thank? There's got to be a lot of people. That was a hard-fought fight. He took it almost to the end of the fight.
Shit, yeah, man. He's a tough guy. He's strong as hell. I know even though he came into this fight undefeated, he came into this fight with 2 losses. I know he fought 2 real tough guys, so I know his record didn't speak for how good of a fighter he is.
Sometimes you have a losing record. It doesn't mean you're a bad fighter. It just means he was a tough SOB.
I don't mean anything. I hit him with some hard shots in the feet. He hit me back with some hard shots. He kept coming. Even I think I rocked him a few times and he kept coming. Stayed in there. I'd like to thank Honor and Conquer. My buddy Dion, he runs this apparel company. I'd like to thank Try About Time. They're my supplement sponsorship. They hook me up with everything I need. Gotc's Cafe, we're having the after party in Lawrenceville. Come through.
We're at Lawrenceville.
Lawrenceville, 4717 Butler Street.
Let's hear it for your winner, Zach Grossman!
Well, there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Zach Grossman, victorious in his professional debut here tonight at Gladiators of the Cage.
That was a really good fight.
That was an amazing fight. I would say that has some contention for one of the better fights I've seen this year. Coming up next, we're going to have Davis Horacio Jr. taking on Dan Kakuta, but first, a word from our sponsors.
The best deals of the year are here, and they're only at your Yamaha dealer. The Yamaha Model Year End Sales Event. With as low as 3.99% APR for 36 months and up to $1,000 customer cash. So see your Yamaha dealer today before these deals are gone for good.
Available at LoJack's Yamaha in Tarentum, 724-226-3727.
Click Vodka, the new black.
inaugural season, this is it. You know, this is we're building it from the ground up, and this is literally.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back coming into one of our last bouts of the evening. This is our second professional bout of the evening between Dan Kakuta and Davis Horacio Jr. Let's see a look at the tail of the tape real quick. We've got Dan Kakuta. He is 35 years of age, 5 feet 11 inches tall, weighing in at 185 pounds with a professional record of 1 win and debatably 1 loss some time ago. He's taking on Davis Horacio Jr., 28 years of age, 6 foot even tall, 185 pounds with a professional record of an unbeaten 1 win and 0 losses. Here we see Dan Kakuta coming to the cage. Kakuta is a well-renowned fighter from the Pittsburgh area, fighting out of Wright's Gym, a very highly touted Muay Thai fighter. Kakuta's been very destructive in his career insofar. His last fight was a first-round knockout versus Kyle Dunmeyer in December of last year.
Huge knee. Big KO knee to the head.
Absolutely. Dunmeyer was coming in for a double leg takedown with his face out, and Kakuta happily handed him a knee. Now we've got coming to the cage from our red corner, it is Davis Horacio Jr., 6 feet tall, 1 inch taller than Dan Kakuta. Both fighters at 185 pounds, so we have some big, heavy guys in the cage here tonight. Very excited to see what's going to happen. Davis Horacio Jr.'s last fight was a win via first-round TKO in November of 2014.
This is actually a fight I've really looked forward to seeing because I know Dan Kakuta can strike. I've seen him. I'm familiar with this camp, and I've trained once, sparred with Davis Horacio Jr., and I think he has pretty surprising stand-up. His style is actually a kind of a karate background, and sort of likes to counterpunch, likes to play with his back off the cage.
You know, he likes the counterpunch, and I like his haircut. I think that's pretty slick. I'm excited to see someone really bring it to Dan Kakuta. He's been so dominant in his time in Gladiators of the Cage. Kakuta was the former Gladiators of the Cage 185-pound amateur champion before turning pro last year. And
Yeah.
he really hasn't. His last fight was, I think it was less than a minute. It was around 25 seconds into the first round before he won. Didn't really get to see Kakuta showcase a lot of skills.
Yeah, it was a very short fight.
Kakuta, before he became a professional, his last amateur fight, I'm believing it was, I can't remember who he won against, but I know that Kakuta defended his title with an arm triangle. So we've seen him on all sides of the board here fighting tonight. Let's send it over to our ring announcer, Dan Bogan, for the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, this next event is in the Gladiators of the Cage Professional Middleweight Division, calling for 3 5-minute rounds. First fighting out of the blue corner, weighing in at 185 pounds. He stands 5 feet 11 inches tall, 35 years of age with a 1-1 record. He fights for Pittsburgh Muay Thai and Wright's Gym from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Dan, the Bionic Fist of Justice, Kakuta! And his opponent fighting out of the red corner. He weighed in at 183 pounds, stands an even 6 foot tall. He's got a 74-inch reach, 28 years of age. He's got a 1-0 professional record. He fights for Team CMMA out of Youngstown, Ohio. David the Pitbull Horacio Jr. The referee, Chip Snyder.
Very excited to have this bout beginning here tonight. Chip Snyder again at the helm for this bout.
And I am looking forward to the hitting.
Dan Kakuta taking on Davis Horacio Jr. Horacio from Youngstown, Ohio, my hometown, Yompton, east of Compton, as we like to say. Now we've seen in the past Dan Kakuta very patient
with a
in his fight.
takedown.
Wow. Kakuta doing the unexpected with the ground and pound.
Not a guy known for his wrestling and jiu-jitsu. He comes from a Muay Thai camp. and probably did not want to end up on the bottom here.
I would have to agree. He looked a little bit confused there in that scramble. A good leg lock artist might have been able to take advantage, but here we see Kakuta going for a rubber guard.
Rubber guard.
He needs to swim his arm through the left or the right arm of Horacio.
Horacio with the can opener, trying to make Kakuta uncomfortable.
Kakuta with a butterfly half guard right now, possibly setting up for a sweep, especially with those softening blows to the hip of Horacio with his heel. And now he's back into full guard.
I could only imagine that Kakuta here just really wants to get this whole thing back to the feet.
You know, he may be trying to...
Oh, no,
wow.
He doesn't.
Omoplata attempt here by Kakuta.
He is attempting an omoplata here.
What he needs to do is get his left arm and grab around the shoulders of Horacio and pull his spine parallel to that of Horacio's to complete the omoplata. He could just be stalling.
He's sort of punching
the arm.
Wow. He is, I mean...
That is not a good feeling, I can imagine.
It's not really something I've ever seen before, but I imagine it's something that doesn't feel nice. And he's almost got an armbar here.
Wow.
And he does. Wow. Wow.
From top to bottom, Dan Kakuta has it all, winning by a very slick submission here tonight. No one saw that coming.
Horacio Jr., his arm is hurt. I mean, I am shocked.
Who elbows the elbow? That was amazing. He elbowed him in the elbow. Oh, Horacio's not going to have a good night.
No. No, he is not.
I mean, you got to pay to play, and they're both professional fighters. All is fair within the legal limits, but what a technique there by Kakuta. Very impressive.
Well, I think the thing here is the problem for Dan Kakuta in the future is the cat's out of the bag. Everybody knows he can grapple now.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at that instant replay. Here we see Kakuta with about a halfway omoplata, and I'm almost cringing thinking that maybe he popped something there or broke some. Oh, the humorous.
Maybe he detached a tendon on the tricep. It's possible.
Wow, Kakuta elbowing the elbow. That's something I've never really seen before, especially in Gladiators of the Cage. And here is where I was concerned about the breakage. That arm is twisted in a bad way. And a belly down armbar for the completion of the submission by Dan Kakuta. Very impressive performance tonight. Let's take it over to our ring announcer, Dan Bogan, for the official decision.
In 4 seconds of round one via the tap out by armbar, fighting out of the blue corner, Dan the Bionic Fist of Justice Kakuta!
Wow, what a dominant performance. Let's have a look at Dan Kakuta's sponsor list here.
Dan, I'm not even going to ask
he doesn't have his banner, but...
Did that go any way near what you expected it to be?
Yeah, I expected him to come out tough. First of all, real quick, I want to say shout out to the PA Hero Walk specialist Nick Helfrich. That's a real cool name to say here. Nick Helfrich, every other veteran in here, thank you for your service. Big shout out to Davis as well, man. Davis Horacio Jr. He's a gentleman. It's a pleasure to meet him. I wish him the best in his future endeavors. Came out here and made weight like a professional. I appreciate him, man.
Okay, I'm going to go find a couch. You thank who you got to thank. I'll get comfortable.
All right, well, it'll be quick for the hardest working ring announcer on the East Coast, man. I left my banner, so I can't remember everybody. So first, I'm gonna thank my kids. My youngest one, Alexander the Greatest, he's in here somewhere. My big son, Gabe, there he goes. You guys motivate me to come out here and work harder and set an example for y'all of the result of hard work. So that's big for me. Pittsburgh Muay Thai, the #1 Muay Thai striking program in the tri-state, period. Available exclusively at Rice Gym, Krav Maga, Pittsburgh. Gene Dimmerling, my massage therapist to the stars. MassageByGene@gmail.com. Audio Works. I can't remember everybody else, man. Yo, big thanks to my man Bass Bronson who did my walkout song, the best unsigned artist out of Jersey. That's about all I can remember right now. Thanks everybody. Oh, one more thing. Thanks to Gladiators of the Cage, Robert Joseph putting on an excellent show once again. And I want to thank everybody that came out here, all the fans. You know, most of y'all ain't here to see me. Probably 95% of y'all are here to see Don Mazzata do his thing later on. I'll be cheering for him with y'all. But I'm gonna just say this to everybody. Gladiators of the Cage, all the fight fans here, I want to be your middleweight champion. So I'm gonna do whatever it takes, go through whoever I need to go through, till Robert Joseph gives me that call and says I got the green light to step in the cage and face down that T-Rex that's holding that 185 strap right now. The same belt Chris Dempsey once had before he went to the UFC. I want it, and I'm gonna bring it back home.
Now, if anyone's thinking of sponsoring anyone, if you've never seen this man fight before, he's famous for hyping and promoting his sponsors. You want to sponsor a fighter, you'll get your money's worth out of this man. Let's give it up for Dan, the Bionic Fist of Justice Kakuta!
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Some may call him Dan, the Bionic Fist of Justice Kakuta. Some may call him Dan, the Investment Kakuta. We saw what he can do from top to bottom here tonight. We are going to go to a 15-minute intermission. We will see you soon.
Inaugural season, this is it. You know, this is we're building it from the ground up, and this is literally the birthplace of the Pittsburgh Thunderbirds.
You know, we'll see if he can take advantage of that. But to come underneath those, if he uses some feints and slips, if Pietro got caught there, he looked rough.
Right hands. Swings. When he takes a punch, I mean, it's coming from back around.
Yeah, there's a lot of force behind that punch. Pietro's looking for the takedown here, and he gets it, and that's a big takedown.
Out of the blue corner, Tony DePietro!
What's happening right now? Big knee.
Knee to the body by Taylor. Those are not allowed to the face, even in these advanced amateur rules. One of them almost caught his chin.
Oh, here's some, look at these strikes. Ground and pound by Taylor. Taylor's not even worrying about the legs and just coming in. Still trying to catch that kick, but
nice body shot. Another one with a knee.
Fighting out of the red corner, Tobias Taylor!
I won't allow anything to go on my stage that is not going to be good. If it looks like it's not coming along, it doesn't get produced. There is nothing traditional about what we do. I refuse to have it on stage. My name is Virginia Wall-Grunert, and I'm the artistic director of Off the Wall Productions. It began because I had a play inside of me that needed to come out. Off the Wall generally has well over 20 productions in a given year. Firewall Dance Theater was actually started by Elisa Marie Aleo, who's the choreographer and performer. It's wonderful storytelling and beautiful choreography and original music. You can find just about everything on our website, www.insideoffthewall.com. There are many traditional theaters in town, and we are just simply not one of them. My motto is bring them in, shake them up, and send them home. If they go home thinking about it and talking about it, then my job is done. And that's what I want people to experience at my theater.
He didn't have to have those shin guards on. And he keeps going for that Superman punch to match his trunks there.
The blue tape on his glove. Johnson with the red tape.
Oh, it looks like he caught Bale. Now he's going right to that neck. He wants that choke really, really bad on Bale. I know Johnson's looking for one of those slippery submissions. Rarely do you see leg locks. Oh, good shot.
Wow.
Bale rocked him. Johnson's hurt really bad. Once again, there's no ground and pound, but he's attacking the body.
For your winner, fighting out of the blue corner, Corey Bale. Bale.
All right, my name's Andy Anderson. I was actually born with cerebral palsy. I was diagnosed when I was 18 months old, and actually doctors told my parents I probably would never walk. Less than 3 weeks later, I decided I'm gonna stand up and I'm gonna start walking. I just moved to a new school. I was getting picked on because I was short, little, tiny, and I had cerebral palsy. So I was always getting picked on. I was tired of it. So I decided, all right, I'm gonna have to be the toughest guy in the school so everyone will stop picking on me. I decided right there and then, I'm gonna wrestle. I started wrestling. It wasn't easy my first couple years, and it actually was my first season. I actually didn't win a match in 7th grade. Started winning a lot in 8th grade, then got into high school, started really taking it seriously, really made wrestling my life all throughout high school. The big thing I learned from the Bard fight is just stay aware at all times. I got caught because it was the end of the round. I was like, okay, he's not gonna throw anything else. There was still time left on the clock. He threw something, I got caught.
10 seconds left, they're not gonna get much in here.
Oh, big right hand.
I absolutely take back what I just said.
The other big thing I learned is that I can hang with these people. I really needed that in a way. And I also learned that the fight's never over until it's over. I mean, I was winning, and he pulled victory from the jaws of defeat. I mean, I learned a lot from that fight. It's been a couple months off. That's my story, and I'm gonna come August 9th, and I'm gonna put on a show.
I started out in the hospitality industry when I was 16, and then I watched somebody doing ice carving on my back dock 30 years ago, and I was hooked. I do a lot of light up nights, and then also all the country clubs, to the Steelers, to the Penguins, to the Pirates, and then all the different community festivals, ones that, you know, personalizes that company or that person. And I pride myself in being able to have the ability to be able to do anything. 300 blocks, that's 90,000 pounds. And it was an ice maze that was 40 by 40, where people got to walk through it and sit down inside the Royal King and Queen throne and get their picture taken. And we had LED lights lighting it all up, and we had over 38,000 people that came through it just on first night. I've always made the people happy, and it's nice to see the smile on their faces. And then when I do my live shows and entertain, it's, you know, giving ice souvenirs to the kids and seeing the smile on their face. It's like a memory that they'll remember all their life, and so will I. And I create memories with ice, and that's what's nice about it. It's a recyclable art form.
Everywhere you turn, people are working out, living a healthy lifestyle, and eating healthier foods. And there's no better way to kick off the new year than enjoying a mouth-watering Mona Lisa wrap for only $5.99. It's all made with the freshest ingredients and cooked to a healthy perfection. For only $5.99 and under 500 calories, the Mona Lisa wrap is a delicious way to keep your New Year resolution. Muscle Maker Grill. Great food with your health in mind.
No glove touch here. No love between the fighters.
Zach Lobo opens up with a Superman punch. I've seen Brett Schoenfeld fight quite a bit, and I've never seen him this intense or this angry.
And they're back at it for round 2. Brett Showtime Schoenfeld and Zach Bad News on the Goebel. Head kick by Goebel.
You know those shots the shots you take on your feet, they might not do a whole lot of.
Oh! Another flying knee by Goebel. Beautiful, beautiful technique.
Fighting out of the red corner, Zach Bad News at 11, Goebel!
Fighting. Dempsey is landing every shot he wants and will, and it is over. It is all over.
Chris Dempsey retains the Gladiators of the Cage middleweight championship.
My name is Jonas Rubiano. I'm training out of Stout Train Pittsburgh, Renzo Gracie Pittsburgh. I've been doing MMA for about 3 years now. I decided to give it a shot. They let me train with the fight team a couple times. They said, hey, you're not bad. They gave me a fight. I won and just been doing it from then. Yeah, I was born in the Philippines, but I grew up here in Pittsburgh, went to college in Ohio, but came back home. Honestly, as far as it can take me, I'm 29 years old, so I know I only got a couple more years where my body can take it. I'm just trying to have fun and go out there, put on a good show. I tell everybody in here, records are for DJs. Go out there and fight and have fun. So I see myself going as far as I can. I would like, obviously, a title, or I would like to go pro, or whatever I can get.
I mean, it's what I've been working towards for so long, and it's a huge step, and it's just everything. You can't really describe it. You realize that all the work and effort you put in wasn't just work and effort for nothing. It's paid off and it's meant something. I don't think it'll sink in until the plane touches down in Dublin, and I think it'll sink in real fast. He's definitely tough. He's a wrestler, got kind of style, and he's from Sweden. He's tough. He's going to be a test. I mean, he fought some of the best guys in the world, and I keep hearing from different people, this isn't just a UFC fight. I mean, they're kind of really throwing you in there against one of the top guys, and I mean, if you want to be the best, you have to beat the best, and now it's time for me to prove it. I just like competing. I mean, I'm a competitor. I mean, I can't play checkers without getting all fired up about it. Like,
Dempsey is landing every shot he wants and will, and it is over. It is all over.
I thank Gladiators of the Cage and Robert Joseph for helping me get to the UFC, giving me all the fights. And I mean, I have a lot of friends that helped me through, my family helped me through, my girlfriend. I mean, there's so many people that you can't really thank everybody, because everyone has a hand in it, no matter how big or small it is. So.
And he taps. Howard taps.
Chris Dempsey!
Click Vodka, the new black.
Could this be it? Taking the back of Krause.
My name is Rocky Edwards. I'm from Columbus, Ohio.
My name is Zach Goebel.
Man, helping people. What drives me is helping people. Helping people get better, get fit. People that were told that they can't do anything, I help them do it. So that's what drives me. I mean, you could do anything on the ground that you could win by submission either way, be on top or be a losing. I could be pounding someone, they armbar me. I mean, it's the best of both worlds. You can beat them stand up, beat them on the ground. It's a dog fight.
to make this sport acceptable to the mainstream, which it's still not, because I still feel like it's a cult sport. I mean, even football players are quitting football just to do this. I mean, because it's primal, and they don't, and no one in their life wants to ever have to fight.
What a scramble by two middleweight fighters in the cage at Gladiators of the Cage tonight.
Initiate countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blast off.
Introducing the new 2013 Yamaha Raptor 700R. The most powerful, best performance sporting EV on the planet. Now in 3 great models, all assembled in the US and all ready to launch.
Available at Gotc Yamaha in Tarentum, 724-226-3727.
Could this be it? Taking the back of crowds, trying to sink the...
My name is Jordan Espinosa. I fight for Demolition Fight Team.
I'm Jeremy Pender. I fight out of Cincinnati, Ohio.
The MMA scene has changed greatly, I think, in the past 5 years, and also I think since I started in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and then I moved over here to Ohio for the past year, there's 2 different cultures of fighting. Out there, I feel like the commission's not really as strict and stuff, and also the fighters aren't even as mature. They'll let a 10-0 pro fighter fight a 0-7 amateur fighter as a pro debut. So, I mean, like, in that respect, when I came over here, I feel like a lot of the amateurs that were experiencing that, it shows in the pro level.
What I like most about MMA is kind of like getting in there and seeing what kind of person you are. It's truth comes out in the cage, man, about what really went down in your training, what really went down in your diet, all that good stuff. The truth comes out on that, and I like that. I like honesty.
What a scramble by two middleweight fighters in the cage at Gladiators of the Cage tonight.
Makers of premium lifestyle apparel, Intimidation Clothing combines great styles and quality at better prices than the competition. With a strong presence in MMA and combat sports, the Intimidation brand is regularly seen on Spike TV, Access TV, Fox Sports, and more. Intimidation Clothing. Better products, better prices.
Mazzotta on Dunn's back, ready to work with 2 minutes left in the round.
He's got both hooks in, and he's got the
It
choke.
might be the night of the chokes for Mazzotta as
Dunn's
well.
looking to fight. Mazzotto's got it deep. Brandon could be it.
And can he do it?
Oh.
And is Dunn gonna turn out? He is out.
Not out. You know, let's follow in with that. If you guys are head down there, well, there's what I want to see.
Wow.
Good.
Big, beautiful takedown by Dunn. Not what we expected to happen right now.
Very interesting. Did you see how quick Mazzotto got it? Look at
Wow.
this. Look at this scramble. Now Mazzotto lands in side control.
That was amazing.
For your winner, by split decision, fighting out of the blue corner, Dominic the Honey Badger Mazzotta!
Could this be it? Taking the back of crowds.
I'm Jeremy Pender. I fight out of Cincinnati, Ohio.
As long as I've been doing it, man, it's all, I got all types of motivation. I mean, I'm an instructor at my gym. That's a motivation. I got family. That's my main motivation. I got 2 sons. One's 7, one's like 11 months, and a fiance. So that's just enough to push me right there. But just getting, like I said, the main thing is fighting tough people. You know what I mean? When I have a tough fight, I know I'm going to train hard. It pushes me. I make sure I train hard for it every day, just to make sure I'm prepared.
My opponent is Jose Figueroa. I think that's his name. I don't know how to say it.
He's very rude. Just saying. He does have nice braids though. I love them in training day, him and his whole family. Other than that, I pull cars down the street. I lift up houses. I don't know, I'm just so nervous right now.
What a scramble by two middleweight fighters in the cage and Gladiators in the cage tonight.
Oh,
big kick by Schoenfeld. He is trying to land that right leg in a bad way.
Oh, he's dropping his hands though. LA is throwing.
There is heat.
Schoenfeld's throwing some heavy leather. LA is trying to defend. He needs to do something or Snyder's going to stop this fight.
Absolutely. More than a minute and a half left in this first round. There could be room for damage.
Big elbows coming down now from, oh man, look at Schoenfeld.
Wow. What a showing by Showtime Schoenfeld here so far.
And now there it comes. This could be the beginning of the end for LA. Schoenfeld's pouring it on. Chip is really close watching this fight.
Just needs to hold on for 38 more seconds.
I think he's about 3 punches away from this fight being ended. Schoenfeld's raining it down. Oh, and he's got his legs under. Both hooks are under. He's surfboarding him here, and it's over.
That is it. Brett Schoenfeld defeats L.A. Hampton. Shrugged.
She's trying to push her face off in a kind of classic Muay Thai style. Oh,
armbar attempt.
Going for the armbar.
I don't know if she has it. Click circling in a really nice way.
She is close. Oh, she is on that arm. It is there.
Feet are crossed. Cinching up the thighs is Gastic. Really tight positioning here by Click. I don't know if she's letting it happen.
I'm looking at the arm. I think she might have lost it here.
Click needs to scramble we have 10 seconds left in the round. Let's see what's going to happen, folks.
I don't think she's going to get the arm here. It looks like it is bent at the wrong angle.
And that is the round. She needs to capitalize right now. This is the third round. Glick looking very, very comfortable right now. Good footwork.
Click has found her range. She's circling.
She's light on her feet. She's moving. I always love to think, what would it be like if these were 5-minute rounds instead of the amateur rounds?
That is an illegal kick to the head. The legs of both guys getting right at it.
Wow. Big leather being thrown right off the bat by both fighters. Shim with a really nice slip.
Both guys coming in hard. Oh, Shim lifts him, pushes him to the cage.
Round 2 in the books. Let's go. Wow, big left hand by Shim. That's what I'm talking about.
Nice kick to the leg there.
Sakuda is not messing around.
Big punches from Sakuda here. He is finding his range big time.
Oh my goodness, Sakuda is just nailing Shim.
Shim shoots.
Shim shoots and Sakuda goes for the front headlock.
Shim sprawls.
Sakuda's going for he's in a half guard.
No.
Wow, that was good.
And it looks like he is wanting to ground and pound immediately.
Some kind of a roll by
interesting positions there. Back and forth.
Love that.
Those are nice transitions. I think Vail has his arm around the throat.
This could be what you call a
and that's it.
Wow. Or here is a full mount.
Full mount.
Big punches happening. And Rally turns and gives up the back. Not a good idea.
That is what happens when you miss a Greco or Judo style throw here. And Chip Snyder watching closely in this position.
I think Dino needs to watch those punches that were landing on the back of the head.
This is real close to being stopped here. If he doesn't improve his position,
it is over. Yeah. Abbott had no answer for the ground and pound performed here by Jamie Driver. She knew as soon as she passed Jenna Baldwin's right arm over her head, she had that back. And she's not playing around. Oh my goodness.
I would be looking closely at this for a stoppage if Jenna doesn't improve position or stop the hitting.
Wow, a lot of damage being done here.
Yeah, I mean, there is a lot of shots being thrown. 17 seconds left. I think Jenna's still trying to intelligently defend herself with 10 seconds left to go.
Can Driver do it? She is really throwing that punishment. My goodness.
I think Chip's going to let this one go with hips. Pop her hips through this position and try to arch her back hard while shrugging her shoulders towards her ears.
Both fighters showing a lot of heart tonight.
You know, but when you get this deep into a fight, your arms just aren't going to feel as fresh as the beginning. Better at pro than he is an amateur sometimes.
That's something you could actually see a lot as far as the amateur rules go. Beautiful moves. It appears that Dunmire's looking really hard for a takedown on Kikuta, but Kikuta's trying to stop that effort.
And
boom.
Huge Muay Thai knees there. Huge.
Go, my goodness.
That was
it is over.
Vicious.
Kikuta got the...
Trying to take this to the ground.
Pulls guard.
Pulls guard.
I love that.
She must be very confident in her submission abilities, as she should be, because the armbar is locked in, and there's... Healy's let it go.
You know, sometimes it's a matter of, do you want to hold on to something like that and possibly gas your arms out when you don't know if you're going to get by both fighters right now?
Oh!
Wow.
Milan lands. Not where Milan wants this fight.
And this is a wrestler style right here, grinding, constantly weighing on him, and now
he's got that tight. It's not under the jaw, but it's tight enough.
It is over. Francis Healy wins via rear naked choke in the second round. Eyes on a bit of a movement he made there. Big shots to the liver.
Pounding the body. Uppercuts, body, head, over and over again.
And he's got the cardio to keep this up.
Real big uppercut.
I think Coggins just needs to get into a rhythm, but Wilkins is not letting that happen.
No.
Oh my,
Wilkins
is this going to be it?
And
can Coggins hold on?
I think this fight is very close to being stopped.
I don't know, he's protecting.
Snyder.
He's intelligently defending himself. Pushing the hip. Oh, and it is over.
And that is it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with our second to last bout of the evening. We have Robert Hanna IV taking on Todd Bevins. Let's take a look at our tail of the tape. Not yet on the tail of the tape. Here in a moment, we will be reviewing the statistics of both fighters. This tends to happen, folks, technical difficulties. We have Todd Bevins versus Robert Hanna IV. Robert Hanna IV, 30 years of age, 5 feet 10 inches tall, weighing in at 155 pounds with a professional record of unbeaten, 4 wins and 0 losses. He is fighting Todd Bevins, 25 years of age, 6 feet tall, 155 pounds with an undefeated 3-0 record. The blue corner is coming out right now. Todd Bevins, undefeated 3-0. His last fight was a first-round submission win versus Jason the Whip Willett in September of 2013. Interesting of note, Todd Bevins has also previously defeated former Gladiators of the Cage champion Rocky Edwards. Very ready is Todd Bevins, 25 years of age, a young man as a professional fighter. Very early on in his career, in my opinion.
And 6 foot tall, he is a big 155, 6 foot.
Absolutely, 2 inches taller than his opponent, Robert Hanna IV. Todd Bevins getting the grease, getting his face ready for war. Beautiful pink shorts on Bevins as well.
Very sensual.
Sensual's the right word for it. Sensual shorts, moist face, ready to go.
That is the key to victory in the Gladiators ring. Moist face, sensual shorts. And a third secret factor that we can't mention here.
Has something to do with this deep music. Very young man, Todd Bevins, 25 years old. That's impressive. His last fight against Jason Willett was in 2013, nearly 2 years from this fight now. Now we have Robert Hanna IV from the red corner coming out. His last fight was a unanimous decision win versus Joseph Holt in March of 2014. So again, we have another fighter that's had a layoff of over a year. Robert Hanna IV won his first 2 professional fights via submission, and he has 2 pro wins via decision. So he has 2 submissions and 2 decisions on his record to add up to his unbeaten 4-0.
This could be a real jiu-jitsu war here between these guys, but then again, the last fight I thought was going to be a stand-up war, and it turned into a jiu-jitsu battle. So here we're probably going to have two jiu-jitsu guys who slug it out.
Absolutely. Oftentimes whenever you look at both fighters, you can kind of just get a feel for the type of a person they are. Not as a person per se, but I have to say Todd Bevan looks noticeably younger and more, I don't know what the word would be for it, but I do think that Robert Hanna IV looks like a much older fighter.
Yeah, I mean, over time, your body does things. It thickens, if you will.
Absolutely.
With the decrepitude of age.
Todd Bevan, with all the hair in the world, yet shaves his head. Robert Hanna IV, all the hair a bit thinning, which is a sign of high testosterone, as we all know.
That is why I have no hair left on my head.
That's why I have no chest hairs. Wait.
You have like one or two.
I have about 5. So, Robert Hanna IV getting ready to enter the cage. This is going to be a very exciting fight tonight. Second to last bout of the evening. Again, a reminder, this is a professional bout under professional rules. That will be 3 5-minute rounds. Knees and kicks to the head are permitted to a standing opponent. Elbows, punches to the head of a grounded opponent are allowed and encouraged. I had the opportunity to watch Robert Hanna warm up earlier tonight. He looks like a very ready man. Let's send it over to our ring announcer, Dan Bogan, for the official introduction.
Before we announce this co-main event of the evening, we want to thank those members of the West Virginia Athletic Commission with us this evening. We want to send out a special welcome to folks from the West Virginia Athletic Commission tonight. This is our co-main event of the evening. It's in the Gladiators of the Cage professional lightweight category, calling for 3 5-minute rounds. First, fighting out of the blue corner, he weighed in at 155.5 pounds. He stands 5 feet 11, 25 years of age, undefeated at 3-0. He fights for Bullpen Fight Club from Bridgeport, Ohio, Todd Juju Bevan. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, he weighed in at 155 pounds. He stands 5 feet 10 inches tall, 30 years of age. He has a reach of 73 inches. He also has an undefeated record of 4-0. He fights for EFS MMA. He's from Dayton, Ohio, Rob Hanna! Your referee, Chip Snyder.
Round 1 is underway between Robert Hanna and Todd Bevan. Chip Snyder, our referee, once again. Both fighters in their feeling out process right now. A lot of pawing happening. Hanna with a good shovel hook, as it's called. Wow.
Hanna charges in here.
Big multi-punch combination by Hanna. That's beautiful. Hanna content to stand up Bevan. It's almost unusual how Todd Bevans is flopping. I mean, he may be looking to pull guard.
I think Bevan wants this on the ground as fast as he possibly can. That's his strong suit, and it's what he wants.
And Hanna wants no part of it.
Hanna's, like, I'm not doing that. Not playing that game with you. And Hanna's got that sprawl. Bevan's kind of telegraphing that shot here. and not setting it up with his hands at all.
Absolutely. I would really encourage Bevan to possibly throw 1 or 2 punches before shooting in with that low double.
Nice head kick attempt there.
Touch and go here in the first round between Todd Bevan and Robert Hanna. Hanna doing a great job of pushing Bevan onto the fence, controlling his hips. Just about halfway done with our first round here tonight. We've seen a lot of Robert Hanna in this position, in a front headlock position against Bevan. You kind of have to wonder now. It looks like Hanna is going for a lot of takedowns, a lot of clinch work, but does he want to go to the ground with Bevan?
It's odd because he's kind of rushing in and getting into a clinch situation, or when Bevan missed that head kick, he rushed in, pushed him against the cage like he was going for a takedown, but it seems like he absolutely does not want to go to the ground.
Yeah, I mean, I would say maybe this is a good tactic for him to wear him down and possibly tire Bevan out so that he could work some dirty boxing later on in the fight.
I think he actually sort of probably rushed in there because it was just a reaction.
Not sure what happened there.
I think it was a groin kick.
I wish we could see an instant replay on that if that it was a groin kick. A little bit of blood on the mouthpiece of Bevan, but none the worse for wear.
Yeah, I think it was some incidental contact, but nobody looks to be hurt. Unlike earlier when the Zach Grossman groin incident, I mean, he was hurt.
Absolutely, we saw that. As we said before, Robert Hanna has up to 5 minutes to recover from a groin shot. And he is back and ready to go. Here it is on the instant replay. Let's get back to the live feed here. Another head kick attempt by Bevan.
Another head kick.
Nice leg kick there by Hanna.
Good kick by Bevan.
Wow.
Big slam. Caught that kick and slammed him.
Working
now
him
he
up
is.
the fence.
This is where Bevan wants to be, though.
Very active guarded so far. Bevan being patient off his back, trying to get his feet into the hips of Hanna and control the distance upon which Hanna is to him.
Turning sideways here, trying to get on that arm.
Possible armbar attempt here by Bevan. I don't know if Hanna is in a state to be armbarred right now.
It's going to be hard given where his arm is.
Hanna's doing a really great job right now of stuffing Bevan's head up into the fence. And here we see a bit of damage to the end of this first round. Bevan with a Kimura attempt.
Yeah,
and the first round is in the books.
And that round is definitely for Rob Hanna.
Absolutely. It would appear that Todd Bevan's game plan may just be to try to get the submission. I don't know if he's really fighting the kind of a fight that you would get a good, solid decision win out of.
No, he's not. And for him, he is going to have to get the takedown. And to get that takedown, it means not waiting and shooting when the other guy is sort of out of range and you haven't set it up at all. Either he is going to have to shoot when Rob Hanna rushes him, or he is going to have to throw a 1-2 combo to get inside and close the distance.
Absolutely. He needs to not be as passive with his jiu-jitsu, in other words.
But I think, Rob Hanna's aggression on the feet is, right now in that round, is too much for Todd Bevan.
Absolutely, a bit stifling. We are underway with round 2. Todd Bevan in the pink shorts taking on Robert Hanna in the red. Takedown attempt aborted quickly by Hanna. Bevan again pulling guard, looking for what could possibly be an arm-in guillotine choke. And I have to say, I think Hanna, again, is passing to the wrong side. Notice how tight the choke is becoming with him passing to that side of the guard.
Get up and get out of there, Rob. Get up and get out of there. There you go, Rob.
Good groundwork going on by Robert Hanna, doing a good job of stifling the guard of Todd Bevan right now.
And this is exhausting on the bottom for Todd Bevan. And the longer situations like this go, where you're on the bottom and you're kind of trying to get submissions and you just kind of keep getting hit and you have to control the other guy's arms, it wears you out and it makes the next attempt that much harder.
Absolutely. And it does not appear that Robert Hanna is really tiring very quickly from this. A lot of jiu-jitsu fighters will do what's called putting someone in the cooker. They'll try to hold on to them and wear them out and make them tired enough that they can make a mistake on the ground, but I'm not so sure that I see that happening anytime soon within the next, 8 or so minutes with Robert Hanna. Hanna looking for some elbows too, as you can see, posturing up with the butt of the palm of his hand. There they are.
Yeah.
I mean, Todd Bevan's actually in not that bad of a position to avoid damage as far as how his half guard was. He just pulled full guard, which is good.
He's not. I mean, he's not getting punished very badly here, but it's because of the amount of energy he's putting into defending himself. He has to keep a tight grip on Hanna's arms and his hands at all times, because as soon as one frees up, he's getting punched.
Absolutely. I mean, and you notice everything that Hanna is doing right now is in some way affecting what Bevan has to do. He's grinding his forehead into the face of Bevan. He's constantly hitting him with these little choppy elbows and little punches. He's really doing a great job of posturing his weight onto the upper body of Bevan, and that's something that's bad if you're a grappler.
It is, and then I think he's landing big here.
This might be it.
Chip Snyder stopped the fight.
Wow, Robert Hanna.
And I think rightly so, because Todd Bevan did not spring back to his feet immediately.
Absolutely. That's always a good sign as to whether or not it was a good or a bad stoppage. Bevan, he did not pop up and argue. He's definitely feeling the damage that was inflicted by Robert Hanna.
When a guy pops up immediately and starts screaming at the ref, what the hell do you think you're doing? Well, the stoppage might have been premature, but I mean here, I mean you can see there was damage done, and I think Chip Snyder stopped it at an appropriate time.
Absolutely. Robert Hanna was doing almost like you would see in a video game, just working slowly and surely at depleting the power level of Todd Bevan and keeping him from really being able to recover from any of the shots he was hitting him with. Let's take a look at our instant replay. And here we see Robert Hanna not quite passing the half guard of Todd Bevan, but really just starting to rain down blows. I I don't know that any of those shots were landing solidly.
I think they did. I think they all came under the elbow and clipped him on the chin.
Okay, I'm with you. By any means, very definitive finish there by Robert Hanna. No arguments on anyone's side here. What a performance tonight. Very good job by our medical staff and the cornerman here, helping Bevan back to his feet. You know, everyone that steps into the cage is a champion at the end of the day. I mean, he is a fighter and he is a warrior, and that's deserving of respect. We should all hope to see him rise to his feet and be able to see the judge's decision.
Yeah, I mean, I hope he's okay. Just, you know, shaken, not stirred, if you will.
You know, and it could just be an amalgamation of the exhaustion that he experienced in that fight and the damage he took.
And he's standing now. So, pretty good indicator he's going to be okay.
Absolutely. There's some words being exchanged between Chip Snyder and the cornerman of Todd Bevan. Not sure what they're really talking about. Might be indicating they think Bevan got hit in the back of the head with one of those elbows, but I don't quite see it. A lot of the athletic commissions follow what you would call the Mohawk rule, which is if you imagine that the fighter has a mohawk going down the center of their head, down to the back of their head, you are not allowed to hit them on that, but that does mean that you are allowed to hit them up to the cartilage on their ear.
And if there's a slight overlap, if you punch somebody on the ear and the fist overlaps towards the back of the head, that is a legal blow.
Absolutely. Let's send it over to our ring announcer, Dan Bogan, and see if we can announce the official decision. It may be another minute. A really beautiful show of respect between both fighters. But now let's have the official decision from our ring announcer, Dan Bogan.
Put up a good fight. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner. After 3:03 of round 2, the fight was stopped by referee Chip Snyder due to strikes. Your winner, fighting out of the red corner, Rob Hanna! Rob, there's got to be some people you want to thank, sir.
First and foremost, I want to thank my wife and my family. It's been a long journey to get here, and she's really sacrificed a lot, and I'm just really glad we got to be here. I want to thank all my family over here. Came up from Dayton, Ohio. Woo! Thank my coaches, EFS MMA, World Class Pro Sports, Southpaw for putting my banner together, Laborers International Union, Local 534, Pure Bionutrients, Stick 'em Up Signs and Decals, Johnny the Furnace Man, my good friend AMD Construction.
You brought some people with you. We thank you guys for coming from Ohio.
Octagon Fight Gear too.
Let's give it up for your winner, Rob Hanna.
As the folks know, in Pittsburgh at Stage AE, I told Mike Wilkins he was ready for a title fight. And I told Mr. Hanna, Mr. Bevins, whoever won this fight, be the #1 contender. So Mike, come on up here, face off with him. This is going to be your 155 title fight here in the future. Mike Wilkins and Rob Hanna.
Let's give it up one more time for your winner this evening, Rob Hanna!
Well, there you have it, folks. In that victory, Robert Hanna IV earned himself a title shot versus Mike Wilkins. Let's all say a quick prayer as well for Todd Bevan. And now let's go to a word from our sponsors.
What makes the original Pink House different from everybody else is the fresh ingredients. It's all made from scratch. We actually have 13 different types of pancakes. The pancakes are light and airy. The reason why they're light and airy is in our buttermilk batter, we actually have a sour starter that we ferment for 3 days, and we add one ingredient at a time: corn flour, peanut oil, sugar, baking powder. With our sour starter and a little bit of yeast, and you can taste the difference. Our syrups are made here on site also. We actually use the peelings of our apples and we boil that down and use the nectar to actually start making our apple syrup. The whipped cream is made here on site every morning, starting with heavy cream and adding the powdered sugar and the vanilla and the extra stuff that we put in. Our omelets are size of footballs. They actually come out. We actually have 6 egg omelets that come out the size of footballs. From the Greek omelet to the Italian omelet to the Western omelet to the vegetarian omelet. Again, they're made from scratch, baked in the oven. When you use fresh ingredients, you can taste the difference. The crepes are made to order. We put them on the grill. The batter's made here, fresh every morning. It's made one crepe at a time. So we have 2 signature items. One is the apple pancake and one is the Dutch bacon. They are both baked in the oven, souffle style. You put butter, lemon, and powdered sugar. It makes a glaze, and it's to die for. An apple pancake is about the size of a top hat. It comes out of the oven, it's baked, and it has cinnamon sugar with Granny Smith apples on top of it. Now, our orange juice is fresh squeezed every morning. Most of the time we do mix the Florida and the California oranges, one for the sweetness, one for the color. Our bacon, it is thick sliced bacon. When I say thick sliced bacon, it is actually 4 pieces of bacon that you get is actually ½ a pound. Our dairy product.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back for our main event of the evening. We've got Dominic the Honey Badger Mazzata taking on Brandon Saylor. Heading to the cage right now is Dominic Mazzata. Before he gets to the cage, let's take a look at our tale of the tape. We've got Dominic Mazzata. He's 27 years of age, 5 feet 7 inches tall, weighing in at 145 pounds with a professional record of 5 wins and 1 loss, taking on Brandon Saylor, 25 years of age, 5 feet 7 inches tall, weighing in at 145 pounds with a professional record of 3 wins, 1 loss, and 1 draw. Mazzata's coming out looking confident. Very, very big following here tonight.
I would say 70% of the people here are here to see Dom Mazzata.
I would have to agree with you. You see Honey Badger shirts everywhere.
Only thing more popular than Dom Mazzata, the Pancake House.
Wow.
I am so hungry.
I wish I hadn't seen that. Dom Mazzata has a very, very large number of people hugging him before he comes into the cage, and rightly so. He is a fan favorite. Mazzata, his last fight was a first-round submission win versus Brandon Poindexter. Interesting of note, the only loss Dominic Mazzata has experienced as a professional is, can you say who?
To current UFC veteran Cody Garbrandt.
Cody No Love Garbrandt. Very big rivalry between the two of them. Garbrandt managed to defeat Mazzata, but is now a very highly touted UFC fighter. Mazzata's got a lot of momentum on his shoulders right now coming into this fight. Mazzata's wearing an invisible mouth guard. Mazzata's last fight versus Brandon Poindexter was a real grinder. He actually broke his foot midway through the fight and still managed to win the decision. Coming to the cage now, Brandon Saylor in the red corner. Saylor's coming to the cage with robot music. This is what robots listen to.
I like this music, but you know.
You're a robot.
I have no soul. There's a difference.
Sailor coming to the cage in a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles t-shirt. I'm not mad at that.
So I've heard a rumor that Brandon Sailor and Dominic Mazzata have sparred together. And Dominic Mazzata definitely got the better of him in sparring. Now, that's only a rumor. If it's true, I think that gives Dom Mazzata a huge mental advantage coming in.
You know, by any means, Brandon Sailor's last fight was a first-round submission win versus Demario Cade at Bellator 128 in October of 2014. So he is a Bellator veteran, and he has won on a very high level. So whether or not, one got the better of the other in the training room, it really often has no bearing on what happens in the cage. Often it does. Often it means a lot. But, I would hope this is going to be a very competitive fight here tonight. Brandon Sailor's 3-1-1 as a professional. All of his professional wins have been via first-round stoppage. Let's send it over to our ring announcer, Dan Bogan, for the official introduction.
Ladies and gentlemen, these bouts are approved and sanctioned by the Pennsylvania State Athletic Commission. The Pennsylvania State Athletic Commission is one of, if not the most respected athletic commissions in the entire world. Your executive director is Graham Serve. Our commissioner at ringside, the birthday boy, Mr. Ron Rossitano. Your judges for this event, Todd Krushka, Andy Atkins, and Kevin Armstrong. Your referee, he is the best referee in all of MMA, Chip Snyder. Our timekeeper at the bell, Stephen the Hammer Kruth. Our physician at ringside is Dr. Lawrence Biskin. I'm your ring announcer, Dan Bogan. Let's give it up for our ring girls, Alicia, Brittany, Emma, and Chelsea. This is your main event of the evening. And it's for the Gladiators of the Cage, vacant professional bantamweight championship of the world. 3 5-minute rounds. First, introducing out of the blue corner. He weighed in at 135 pounds. He stands 5 feet 6 inches tall, 27 years of age, a 5-1 record. He fights out of the Mat Factory from Lower Borough, Pennsylvania. Dominic the Honey Badger Mazzata. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. He weighed in at 137 pounds. He stands 5 feet 7 inches tall, 25 years of age with a 68-inch reach. He's 3-1. He fights for 3 Elements Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He comes from Frisco, Texas, by way of Erie, Pennsylvania. Welcome, Brandon So Cool Sailor. Your referee, Chip Snyder.
Here we go, folks, our main event of the evening. Dominic the Honey Badger Mazzata and Brandon Sailor ready for caged combat. The crowd is literally on their feet in the arena tonight. Nice low kick by Sailor.
Mazzata answers, big knee to the face by Mazzata there.
Going for a high takedown attempt is Mazzata. Trying to string a leg.
Mazzata completes a takedown.
He's got Sailor down. Let's see if he can hold him there. Sailor looks postured to pop right back up.
Yep.
A couple good shots to the face by Sailor as well. Mazzata's got a nice deep underhook on his right side. And Sailor pummels to get double underhooks. Let's see if that can lead to something good.
And there's was a big takedown.
You know, big takedown by Mazzotta. He trains out of the Mat Factory, which is one of the premier wrestling fight gyms in Pittsburgh. Very heavy focus on wrestling at the Mat Factory. Saylor has Mazzotta in the lockdown half guard. Very difficult to pass this half guard with an opponent that knows how to use it. Saylor is all but set up right now to go for an old school sweep or possibly an electric chair sweep.
Is Chip standing this up here?
Highly unusual decision by Chip Snyder to stand that up.
I would have to say that's a little fast.
I don't quite understand that one.
Loosen up, buddy. Loosen up.
Mazzotta just far enough away from Saylor's punches. Big, looping, slip and rip punches by Saylor.
Nice kick to the body on Mazzotta.
Big kicks exchanged by both fighters. Both guys are on top of their kicking games right now.
Halfway, Brandon, halfway. Let him go, Brandon, let him go.
Mazzotta's doing a great job of switching his stance in order to circle his opponent appropriately into the cage. And Saylor seems unafraid to really feed it right back to Mazzotta. Every time he catches it, he gets it, and he gives it back. Saylor could reach through the crotch right now, Mazzotta with his left arm, and go for a dump.
Mazzotta looked like he was almost in on the neck, but not quite. Good elbow by Saylor.
Single leg takedown attempt by Saylor, didn't get it.
No, Mazzotta, quick move to get this position.
High school wrestling, yanking him to the ground. What a pace in this first round of this fight. Saylor needs to be really careful not to give his back up.
That looks like the direction he's going.
Mazzotta with shots directly to the back of the head. I don't know how I like that.
It looked like one shot. It was sort of incidental.
I'm judgy like that. What can I say?
Dom really trying to finish right here, and he might have this locked soon.
Needs to get the hand under the chin of Saylor.
Saylor fought it off. Dom turning for the armbar. And he's in position.
Spiderweb position, going for what's known as the douchebag break.
It looks like he's going to get it. And,
he does not have it.
No, he doesn't have it. He's going to have to switch to Umplata here.
Omoplata position.
And there he's switching to Umplata.
23 seconds left in this round. Let's see if Saylor can hold on. If Saylor can step his body over Mazzotta's, the omoplata is null and void.
Very little chance Umplata will finish here. But
transitioning directly to a knee bar. Oh my goodness.
Really, really good transition from submission to submission.
Beautiful chain grappling. What a first round it was.
Very, very nice chain grappling at the end there.
The crowd is literally on their feet. I mean, I don't know who I would actually give that first round to. I would say Mazzotta got a couple of good takedowns, but both fighters were feeding each other a lot of shots.
I have Mazzotta, honestly, for the end. You know, the last minute he was fully in charge, dominant positions, close to a couple of submissions there, back, mount, armbar attempt.
I would agree, 100% I would agree.
Striking was back and forth, pretty even.
Saylor was eating a couple of punches, similarly to how I want to eat those pancakes from the commercial.
Oh, they look so delicious.
Oh my God.
I don't even know what that thing at the end was.
It was big and puffy. Round 2 is underway. Dominic Mazzata and Brandon Saylor. This has been a barn burner so far. Mazzata again with the kicks.
Mazzata has sharp kicks. He originally came from a Taekwondo background before he did MMA.
Which would explain part of the reason why he's so comfortable switching his stance and throwing off these really weird angles with his kicks. Now, I've noticed that with his stance switching, he is doing a lot of circling into the right hand of Saylor. That would be something to be weary of.
Nice knee by Mazzata. Oh, nice knees by Mazzata.
Mazzata taking the back of Saylor again.
Saylor looks like he's cut under his eye here.
And you know, honestly, that blood on the cut under the eye, that could contribute to it being difficult to get the rear naked choke, but we will see. Not enough blood to really matter yet.
Saylor just let him put his second hook in there.
Wow,
I think he's kind of tired and maybe a little hurt.
I would have to agree. This is the second time in how many minutes that they've been in this exact position. Mazzata setting up for the armbar.
There it is. He's got position on it.
Saylor S gripping.
It's going to take a lot of energy to pull that out, and I think Dom bailed on it because he could see that.
Conservation of energy is key in a fight like this. Both guys at such a pace. Notice Mazzata's driving the thumb bone of his left hand under the nose of Saylor. Watch the nose of Saylor, trying to get him to open up his carotid arteries for a choke.
Break his ankle. Let's go, Brandon.
Mazzata again reaching for the far arm from the back, possibly setting up another armbar attempt.
Possibly.
Gotta kick out of this.
If Saylor can... Well,
here he is, armbar. And this time, I think he's got a little bit more room because he's not facing the cage.
Mazzata again with the douchebag break in spiderweb position, rubber guard. Saylor's not having it.
Nope, and Saylor back on top. And that is one of the things that can happen when you go for that and miss. You lose position. And then you've got another man on top of you who's really angry and wants vengeance.
Absolutely. Saylor needs to be careful with leaving his neck out like that. Mazzata's slick, he has slick jiu-jitsu, and he will dive on a choke.
I think Saylor is exhausted here.
I mean, he's taking a lot of damage right now. Whether or not he's being finished, you could just see the look on his face. He looks exhausted.
I would not be surprised if he taps soon because he's got that figure forward, and there's only so much of this he's going to take.
Mazzata's not quite under the chin of Saylor. Saylor's holding on. What a fight. I mean, anybody who's ever grappled could tell you from experience it's not fun having someone grind your face that way. There it is. That is. Dominic Mazzata has defeated Brandon Saylor via rear naked choke in the second round.
And what I would call a fairly dominant performance here.
100%. Saylor had little to offer Mazzata once they were on the ground. What a fight, ladies and gentlemen. The crowd is on their feet. What a show of respect between both fighters. Mazzata is reaping the rewards of having so many fans in the crowd right now. Everyone is giving him love. Let's take a look at an instant replay here, Mike. Here we see Mazzata on the back again. Look at that elbow.
Big elbow. That's some instant cauliflower right there.
Absolutely. Here Mazzata's trying to cinch up the choke, and there's only so much you can take. You can only fight off that choke for so long before eventually your neck gets tired, your jaw gets tired, and you have to give it up. Let's send it over to our ring announcer, Dan Bogan, for the official decision.
That was a hell of a battle, folks. Your winner at 3 minutes, 42 seconds in the second round, via tap out from the rear, naked choke, fighting out of the blue corner, Dominic the Honey Badger Mazzata. Your new Gladiators of the Cage welterweight champion of the world. Ladies, bring him that hardware.
I'll see you, buddy.
Let's get a word with the new champ if we could. Dominic, there's about 8 to 10 times I thought it was over. He put on a good fight. He's pretty wily. He got out of there a few times. What do you have to say?
Yeah, he's a tough guy, you know what I mean? Great guy, too. Classy dude, he's fucking tough. Hard for me to stick the choke. I didn't want to waste my arms out just in case. Had to stand back up, but it was good. It was a good fight.
If we can, next time we're going to try to get the fight a little closer to home for you. I understand there's an after party somewhere. Would you like to tell them where they can meet and hang out with the Honey Badger after the fight?
Yeah, there's an after party at Stella's, restaurant 400 Freeport Street. Please guys, if you come, make sure you're not too drunk. We're not going to let anybody that's too wasted in. And please, if you're there, respect my establishment. Yeah, since I'm the king of the bantamweight division now, I figure, I'm gonna need a queen to see me through this, so it's been a long time coming. So Katie, will you marry me, babe? Come on. Let my girl in. Baby, put up with a lot of shit through our lives. You know I love you. Just say yes, please.
Yes.
First of all, congratulations to the both of you. Congratulations on your win, but the bigger win tonight's right here. Okay? The biggest win. Congratulations, and congratulations to you. Now, I want to tell Dom how much I appreciate. I know he's going to represent this 135 title like no other. So look for Dom in the future at Gladiators of the Cage or wherever it's going to be, because he's always going to put on a show for you folks, okay?
Let's give it up one more time for the Honey Badger, Dominic the Honey Badger Mazzata. Thank you all for supporting Gladiators of the Cage. Like us on Facebook, gotcmma.com. Thank you all. Travel safely. Have a good night.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We have Dominic Mazzata retaining his 135-pound title and gaining another woman in his life. What a heartwarming event.
Shades of Benson Henderson style proposals.
Shades of Benson Henderson is correct. We'd like to take a moment to announce the performance of the night for tonight's event. That would be Dan Kakuta's win. Look at what he did to that guy, the arm of Davis Horacio Jr. I'm sorry, that was very beautiful technique, and he won performance of the night tonight.
You do not want to be the arm of Davis Horacio Jr. right now.
The arm is going to have a bad night. I'm not sure how Davis Horacio feels about it, but... Oh, and there, I think it's out. It goes. Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Gladiators of the Cage would once again like to thank Cut and Run Productions. Cut and Run Productions, located in Dormont, for all of your video and audio needs. We'd like to thank the veterans of the U.S. Marine Corps, the Army, the Navy, and the Air Force. And we'd like to thank everyone who came out and supported Gladiators of the Cage tonight. We hope to see you again soon. Good night.